Honk. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Friday night stream. It is the first Friday of March. We are here in the third, I don't know if you've been munching some food. The third month of the year. That's what I'm actually trying to say. The third month of the year, which is hard to believe. It is hard to believe that we are here. The bot was working as intended. Nothing to see here. Move along, citizen. There we are. It is all functional. What's going on, troll? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. And yes, ArcanusBot is now working. So, TomTom, if you type in !4, you will see that, in fact, the command has not, in fact, been taken away now that our bot is back. Thank you to Shadowed Mage. Thanks to Troll. Thank you as well to TomTom for the resub. Thank you to Dragonspear for the resub earlier as well. Haha! See? See, I told you that command has not been removed. But it is good to see everybody. Welcome to the third month of the year. I cannot believe we're there already. I am actually probably going to be seeing Troll in person in a few months' time when my daughter and I head down, as we usually do, to Three Rivers Comic-Con. We will be doing that again this year, and I am excited for it. Although it looks like, in all likelihood, we're only going to be there. I get to look at my face. We're probably only going to be there. We're going to be getting in Friday night. And we're probably only going to be there for the entirety of Saturday. And the reason is that we're going to be going to see a Pirates game on Sunday. Which is also a tradition that my daughter and I have when we go down there, and they've moved the game earlier. Typically what happens is it's in the afternoon, and so I do the thing on Sunday morning, and then I leave and head over about noontime. But in this case, they've actually moved that back. And so they've moved it back to 11:30, which means that I don't really want to go for like an hour on Sunday. So what I'll probably do is because the panel stuff is all going to be on Saturday, so I will be there all day on Saturday, which should be good. I mean, I will be there early in the morning, we'll be there all afternoon or whatever, and hang out, and I imagine we'll be able to grab some dinner as per usual, Troll, or something along those lines. That's always a good time. And then we will do the Pittsburgh Pirates game on Sunday. So that's what it looks like, because I just found that out today that they moved the scheduled game back. So that's what it's looking like. So that's going to be a good time. And of course, TomTom, it is always good to see TomTom. And you can see !4 worked. And I know I keep saying this, but I can imagine myself at some point getting back to those games. So are you ready for the 15 months? I know, right? It is very true. It is very true. It's amazing, Trollware. I saw this thing. I'm like, this is happening in June. Like, really? They're like, no, they already changed the schedule. So, but anyway, yes. So, TomTom, this will happen. Darth Arvanilla on this time. I saw that you were commenting on some of my other playthroughs, not just that one. One thing you should know, though, Tom, by the way, as of course clearly a confirmed Star Wars fan, is the fact that when Jedi Survivor comes out, I will be playing that immediately. Like, the only reason I would not play that is if I were literally finishing up Sorcery. Then I would finish up Book 4, and then I would move on to, but I mean, literally the next game I'm playing after this, as soon as it's out, is Jedi Survivor. So I am excited to play that. So you're going to get more Star Wars in your life of some type. That is definitely happening without a question, because I loved Jedi Fallen Order a couple of years ago, and I am excited for this one. So that's going to be good. Yeah, for sure. We will definitely do that, Troll. Right now, my main thing that I'm kind of focusing on is I've got some audio recording that I'm doing. Then I have to get a middle grade manuscript revised. I finished up some grading, and I have a little more grading to do. Then I have to get cracking on stuff relating to things within the Gray Shade universe. The big, like, outside of those things, like non-family related event is ArvCon. That's the thing that is going to be my next big thing that's coming up as far as a major thing that I'm planning, because it's also got that live event that I told you about and everything. So that is happening in May. And then once that's clear, then I'm going to be, I'm going to be moving on to that. So obviously we can't wait until May because it's only a couple weeks later that the event happens. But I definitely in a couple of weeks we will. Yeah. No, I know. I'm actually saying this more to remind myself to make sure that we actually do get in touch with each other so we can do that. But it'll be good. I'm excited for it. I'm very excited to go down there and to hang out again. Always have a good time down there hanging out with the peeps. I probably will also. I have met Geester face to face down at Three Rivers. There's a few folks actually that I've met over the years that swung by that way at Three Rivers that happen to live right in the Pittsburgh area. It used to be that a good friend of mine who I've actually had on the channel, my friend Story, lived in the Pittsburgh area. He actually lived in West Virginia, but like right near Pittsburgh, and now has moved to Philadelphia. So I don't think we're going to be able to see them this time because time-wise it doesn't quite work out with my daughter's school and everything, I don't think. So we will see. Yeah, sounds good. No, definitely. I am up for it. It's going to be a good time. And so that is going to be fun times. Let's see. Oh, nice. Echo Alpha has just sent me some more pictures of snow for my son's benefit. I feel so bad for my kid, everyone. I just want to tell you, my son, he is, by the way, feeling much better. His fever is broken. He has a normal fever today, normal temperature today. I knew that even before I checked his temperature because he was making jokes and laughing again. And that's his usual default state, is making jokes and laughing. When he is not doing that and when he's kind of like, like this, I know that he's just not feeling well, and I could just tell he's much better. So, but he really got leveled by this thing. I mean, he got sick on Saturday, and he basically was down for the count Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, started to feel a little better on Thursday, and then, like I say, finally cleared today. So we're going to have him take it easy tomorrow, but he should be back to school on Monday. But man, I felt so bad because during the middle of that was Wednesday. Yeah, no, exactly. He was, poor Kalen. I felt bad. And it was literally Wednesday when we had our only real snow, because Arudinel gets to keep all the snow for himself up there in Maine. But we got actual snow about, like I say, maybe 5-6 inches, not a ton, honestly. I've seen way more, but whatever, like 5 inches, at least snow that was actually there and that people had to shovel in the whole bit. And it's gone now, completely gone, all of it. It had mostly melted by Thursday, and I was just like, okay. So it's been an interesting experience, and I feel bad for him because he just missed out on all the winter has just been a complete dud snow wise, as I've talked about many times. But anyway, he will be resilient. He'll work his way out. He did do that. He did actually go out in the snow with us for like 10 minutes. This was on Wednesday. He still was like, he still had a fever and he wasn't feeling great, but he wanted to go out there. So we bundled him up. Like, he got out there for like 10 minutes. He helped make a little bit of our one, snowman. And he had a couple of, bites of snow basically, and that was it. And then he went back inside, and I knew he was not feeling well. This was Tuesday. I knew that he was not feeling well on Wednesday when I was like, we could try to go sledding. I don't know if we can. And he's like, Daddy, I don't want to go outside. And I was like, wow, my son not wanting to go outside to do sledding is like that. Yeah. So I was just like, he was in no state, but he is now officially feeling way, way better. So that's awesome. So, yeah, exactly. I can't see his amazing fighter pilot skills. Hey, my skills were fine until I had that one mission where number 4 never freaking got back to me. Freaking Red 4. Yeah, no, my family's feeling much better. My family was fine actually, but it was just my poor son, Mini-Arv, who was not, but he is now on the mend. Anyway, folks, a lot of different things happening, except for the snow. Yeah, exactly. I like snow, honestly. Like, do I want to be hit with constant blizzards? No. But if I wanted to live in Florida, I'd live in Florida. Like, I like having some snow. And I like being able to sled and do snowball fights and make snowmen and stuff like that, once in a while during the winter. A couple storms in the winter and I'm all good, but no snow, not crazy about that. So, unfortunately it is what it is. What can you do? Yeah, exactly. It snowed and it was immediately gone. Like within 2 days it was gone. So it's crazy. Anyway, so a couple things to talk about tonight. First of all, for those of you who are here, lovely to see all of you. Please spread the word about the show. We're going to be doing some more Sorcery 4 tonight. Before we get there, a couple of reminders about ways to support the stream, and then I have a couple of announcements that are significant for all of you lovely folks. First of all, if you have not done so already, please please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube with !ArvTube now that Arcanusbot is back up and running. !ArvCord is our Discord channel. Hi all, happy Friday. Just have snow 9 months a year. That's a very, you know what's funny though? Thank you so much for the resub, Mrs. Dunsel. It's good to see you. It's funny though, Troll, it feels, I know what you mean about it melting, but somehow that feels very like Pittsburgh/Pennsylvania to me. I don't know why. It just feels very much like sort of the thing like, yeah, we like the snow. Yeah, let's get some snow. You know, it feels very much like the way that I always like to imagine the state from, you know, the many people that I know in that state. It's always the way I like to think of it. So I hear that. I don't think you'd want to be in Minnesota during the summer, though. From my understanding, Minnesota is not a happy place in the summer because it's so freaking humid. But we'd have to talk to, we have a couple of friends who actually, friends of the stream, friends of the channel who live in Minnesota. We'd have to ask them. Anyway, yes, !ArvCord, !ArvTweets for my Twitter. Please sub to me in all those places. It's free to do that, but it really does help us out. And again, thank you to all those who have subscribed on the YouTube channel. We've seen some subscription upticks of late, and we'd love to see you folks in the Discord and the Twitter as well. Website, arvanelleron.com. Financially, !Arvtreon is the Patreon, currently sitting at $19,194 per month. !Arv Shop is the merchandise area. That is under construction. I am actively going to be working on that with the incredible Triffity Mats, who is currently doing a Skiffy and Fanty thing, but will be over here later, I believe. So yes, more stuff is coming with that shop. And then Arv Treon is the Patreon, Arv Shop for the merchandise area. And subbing to the channel, as several of you have already done today, is always super helpful as well. So one of the announcements that I've got to make, in fact, I'm going to make notes because I just remembered another announcement, which is help with this. And announcement of players. And schedule. Okay, cool. So, again, on the publishing side, Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from the amazing Athos Arts. Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book from the amazing Alligator Alley Entertainment. And, of course, Grayshade, which does work now, that command, which will get you over to the link where you can actually buy Grayshade, and you can get the novel that is out right now. I actually had the chance to talk to friends of ours who had actually bought the book. I didn't know this past weekend, and said they really enjoyed it. So that's always nice to hear. So Grayshade will get you over where you can buy that book. You can get the sequel as well. You can pre-order the sequel, Renegade, which is coming out later this year. You can also check out the sequel, Heretic, which is the final book in that series, the Grey Assassin trilogy, that's coming out next year. You can also pre-order the tabletop role-playing game from one Brandon O'Brien, which is going to be awesome. And you can get the audiobook from Trent Sparks. And while I cannot make any official announcements about that yet, I can tell you that the audiobook is very much in a very good state. That is to say that there's a lot of progress that has been made on that. So can't give you any details as yet, but just so you know, there's a lot of progress that's been made and feeling good about that. So the audiobook is going to be here next year, later this year, as promised. So I'm very excited about that. And of course, as I say, Trend is amazing and you will hear that for yourselves. So there's that, and you can get that as well. That I know, because Troll has like 65 different versions of Icarus. It's true. You won't be able to get any more editions of Icarus now, but you will be able to get editions of Grayshade if you so choose. And I don't think we're going to have... I don't know. I'll have to ask about this. My guess is I have to see what Emily and Ballsteg think, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to have Renegade like in physical form ready for the first week of June for Three Rivers. I doubt that. We'll definitely have it for Gen Con for sure. But I don't know that we're going to have it for the first week of June. Probably not. In any case, though, I'm very excited about that book. I'm very proud of it. And so we will see. And absolutely, we ship to Europe 100%. Yes, indeed, Tom. And you can check that out there. In fact, you'll be able to see how you can order it at various places. It's also available as well on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and places like that, too. And, of course, it's available in e-form. But in physical form, yes, those things are available to you. And, yes, for sure. Okay, and let me see. What else did I need to mention? Oh, yes, last but certainly not least, exclamation point. I'm saving one for last, which is Klein. I'll come back to that. Exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. It's funny, Dragon. Very important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, Ukraine, to help fight the good fight. And to help these folks fight against this illegal and illegitimate war. This is our chance to step up and help those people and to send a message. We will do that in other cases as well. Now, I have a few announcements, and one announcement is going to involve the last exclamation point I did not mention. But first, I will turn this on to say hi to you all, and then I'm going to say, oh my God, that is very yellow. Hold on a sec. They were all yellow. That's very yellow because the light was yellow to balance something else off. Hey, look, it's my normal face. That's more like it. Okay, so good to see you all, first of all. Now, a couple of notes that I want to make, and this is going to be really important announcements. Exclamation point Klein. Yes, I saw that, Echo, when I mentioned before on stream before you came on the channel that you had just sent me some more, and I will send those. I will let my poor kid see them. He really liked the ones you sent. He just wasn't feeling very well, and then obviously the snow has come and went again. So anyway, but thank you, Echo, as always. And thank you for sending those along. Exclamation point Klein. Now, this is for the Klein Memorial Auditorium kickoff event of ARVCon this year. So as you know, we are on I believe it is our 9th annual. It's either 8th or 9th annual ARVCon to raise money for the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. We have raised almost $30,000 over the years for this, and we're going to break that this year. We will go over $30,000 for sure, and I really want us to break our record last year, which was $7,000 and a little bit. I want us to break that record, and I think we can do it. Why? Because not only do we have our usual amazing virtual events for you, but we have a live event too. On Thursday, May 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern, we will have a live Dungeons & Dragons event being held at the historic Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport, Connecticut. This is an 80-year-old theater. It was a theater that was built right around World War II. In fact, it was built using the same materials as was used in a lot of the weaponry and armaments that were sent to Europe, because Bridgeport was a big place for that at the time, a big sort of center for that. And it has hosted the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. It has hosted the Vienna Boys Choir, numerous concerts and dance troupes and all that kind of stuff. And for the first time in its history, it is going to be hosting a live Dungeons & Dragons event. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how can I support this thing? How can I do what is necessary to send a message? I'm glad that you asked, because there are several ways, actually, that we can do that. One of those ways that you can help is by distributing this flyer. Now, give me a second here. I'm going to make a link to this. Let's see. Copy message link. Okay, here we go. That right there is the link to a flyer. And in fact, I have a picture of said flyer, which I'm going to show you right now. The flyer looks like this, like that. There we go. That right there is the flyer which the Klein Memorial Auditorium has put together for this event. And you can see that it has got my logo right there. It has got the Klein, which is, of course, a nonprofit organization that runs a lot based on grants and, of course, the events that they run. And on top, the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. I am exceedingly excited for this. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, number one, distributing this flyer would be super, super helpful for me. And you can do that in a couple of ways. Even if you are not going to be in the area, or you don't live near the tri-state area, and you can't actually get to this event in person. First of all, by typing an exclamation point Klein, you can buy tickets online, so you can actually go to the online live stream to watch this. That benefits not only Damon Runyon, but also the Klein Memorial Auditorium. So you can do that. Also, this flyer you can distribute either digitally you can distribute digitally to people because no matter where you are in the world, you can access that live stream. So that's going to be useful regardless. It's $5 for tickets to that. It's also $5 to attend in person. So this is not expensive, but it definitely makes a big difference. And of course, those prices, those costs go directly to either the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation or the Klein, both worthy organizations. Damon Runyon is going to be making its own special hype video for this, which I'm very excited to see. We're going to be doing that. This year's event is going to be dedicated to the memory of the man who was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his, my dear friend Ewan Ross, who passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 51 of a rare form of bone cancer. It is exactly for reasons like that, the people that we've lost and the people that we have with us, the survivors. It's exactly for those reasons that we run something like this. And so it is going to be dedicated to Ewan's memory. It's an event that I look forward to every year, not just because we get to do some serious good, but also because it's something which brings the community together for common purpose. And that's always a good thing, regardless of what we're doing it for. So I'm very, very pleased that we're going to do this. I'm also really excited about this. And relating to that, okay, hold on. I'm going to announce that in a minute. So give me a second on that. The announcement relating to the players. But before I get there, so yes, please do distribute this. This is available on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord or not going to be able to or can't access that link, please let me know. And you can just DM me if you want on Twitch. And I will try to get you a copy of this in digital form, which you can print and distribute at your leisure / digitally distribute at your leisure. So you can do all of that. But I'm really trying to push this to get as many people as we can in the building. I'd love to have a huge audience, but also to get as many people as we can just being a part of this, part of the mix. Obviously, there will be donations that we'll be taking during all the events, the time of the event from Thursday all the way through the end of the event on Monday. So we're going to be doing that all through the weekend, but I'm trying to push this ahead of time because this is a big thing for the Klein too. They've never done this before. They're very excited about it, and I want it to be a big event for them also. And if all goes well, this is the kind of thing where I think we could have a relationship built with them where we could do something like this again, and maybe not just for this. We could maybe expand it a little bit. So this is all good for all sorts of reasons. So please make sure to spread the word about this. Yeah, that's actually true, Tom, but not Call of Cthulhu, let me tell you, for this as well. So !Klein will give you the information where you can get those tickets, and please let me know because you can actually get this. And that piece of art, by the way, is taken directly from my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. It is from the Night at the Forbidden Library adventure, which I wrote, which is what we're going to be running. So speaking, by the way, of that adventure, which we're going to be running, and speaking of the people playing it, I'm going to be announcing, probably starting tomorrow, I'm going to be announcing the players that are going to be part of this. Now, technically, you can track down and find out who they are, but I'm going to be officially announcing those folks on my stream tomorrow, and then I'm going to be tweeting out scheduled tweets over the course of the next couple of weeks to be able to let you know who the players are. I know 4 of the players, and you actually will know them as well because they'll be familiar to people from this channel. But one of the players I won't know, and that is that there is a high school student who is going to be winning an essay contest, which is currently being distributed to the schools about role-playing, basically talking about why they like role-playing, their thoughts about role-playing, and why they think they would be well-suited to be on stage with these 4 luminaries. So they're going to get a chance to be on stage. That is going to be distributed to all of the Bridgeport area high schools, and so I am excited to see what we get from that and to see who joins the 4 notable people that are on stage. It's a really good idea on the part of the Klein. It was actually the Klein's idea to do this, and I think it's a great idea, and so we're going to be doing that. So very excited about that. And so that announcement of the players is something I wanted to mention. So I am announcing the players tomorrow. Okay, I'm announcing the players tomorrow during my Eberron stream who are going to be part of this event, and then I'm going to be tweeting that out over the course of the next couple weeks for those who wouldn't be on the channel. So it's going to be super cool. Very excited about that. Now, the second thing I want to ask about is to ask the digital help of all of you lovely folks who are part of the channel. And here's specifically what I need. Now, you will all know that there is this thing called the NJ Web Fest. In fact, I think I have the logo for that right there. The New Jersey Web Fest right there. Which is an event that actually began originally as a film festival and has expanded since to include things like podcasts, vidcasts, and actual play shows. And that includes shows that happen on Twitch. Now, Speculate, the Court of Blades Valorword in which I play and which is GM'd by the amazing Michael R. Underwood, that has actually been made an early selection for the New Jersey Web Fest, which is a big deal. It means that there's a good chance that Speculate is going to get fully nominated, which would mean it would get screening and a screening there and all that stuff would be awesome. And if we won it, even better. So that's super, super cool. But what I did not realize is that there are other events that are actually happening and other not just events, but deadlines are not as early as I thought they were. I thought that I kind of missed the boat on it a little bit because I've just been so busy. But as it turns out, it is not the case because we have not yet missed the deadline. So I would like to basically submit 3 excerpts, and the excerpts can be no longer than 30 minutes. So 3 excerpts from my actual play shows. And so what I'm thinking of doing is the following. I would like to do an excerpt from the Eberron Oracle of War, D&D with Infinity and Beyond. I would like to do an excerpt from the Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, and I would like to do an excerpt from Shire Adventures. I'd like to submit all 3 of those basically, and the reason I'm doing those is because those are the ones that are ongoing as we speak. So I would like to do those and send those off. They do cost money to submit. It's not $0 to submit, so I can't just submit forever. But using the power of your lovely support and the Patreon, I would like to do some of that. So here's where you folks come in. For those of you who have watched a lot of the tabletop play, and I know a lot of you sitting in the channel right now have watched a number of these, I could really use your help in identifying what you think would be good, memorable scenes, things that you're like, this would be a really good excerpt to show them. Now, for Shire Adventures, we've only had a couple of sessions so far, so we've got a lot of options we don't have a lot of options to choose from, so in a way that narrows it down. Again, all I'm looking for is basically one excerpt that I can send in from each of these shows. For something like, for example, Eberron, which has been running for about a year and a half now. No, a little bit. That's not true. About a year, a little over a year. For something which has been running a little over a year, that's something which might take a little bit longer. There's a lot of material to draw from. But again, I will be thinking about this too, but I could really, really, really use your help. So if folks have, and you can find these on my YouTube channel, they're all on my YouTube channel, very carefully made on playlists. If you have something where you're like, this is awesome, we totally need to go do this, we totally need to see this, like, oh my God, this was the best scene ever, please let me know. If you can give me the video and even the timestamp, that would be even better, just so that I have some more information to work with, because I want to be able to send off those 3 excerpts. Yeah, I thought about that, but the thing is I can't use Esper Genesis because it ended. It's not still going on. The 3 that I mentioned are ones that otherwise I would totally be doing that. I would also probably put up Curse of Strahd because there'd be a couple of those that would be amazing as well. But I can't do that because those shows have ended. And as far as I know, this needs to be in the process of running as we speak. So that's why I was thinking that it made sense to do stuff that we have now. There are some great things I can think of from Expedition. There are some great things that I can think of for sure from Eberron. I mean, no question about that. And perhaps a little bit as well. I can certainly think of some stuff as well from Shire Adventures, even though we've only done that for a couple sessions. So if you folks have an idea, if you're like, oh my God, I remember this is so cool. If you did a clip, if you thought of a highlight, anything like that, please do me a favor. Either send me a message on Discord or whisper me on Twitch or something like that and let me know, because that would be super helpful for me. Yeah, the show has to be ongoing when you submit, Tom. So, like, as far as I know. So basically it has to be a thing that's running as we speak. Now, obviously, you know, if the show then ends like a month after the web festival is over, that's fine, right? I mean, that they totally get that. But the point is, it's not supposed to be like some archive thing, because otherwise, I mean, my God, there are amazing sequences from Tyranny of Dragons, from Palace of the Red Pasha, obviously from Esper Genesis we just talked about, from freaking Adventures of Middle Earth. I imagine that Emily would, disown me as a friend if I didn't put something of Utgash in there, right? But all of that stuff is unfortunately stuff which is, shows that have already come to an end. And so it's got to be something which we've got running now. And we certainly have good shows now too. It's just that they are more, in two cases, kind of like ramping up, Expedition and Shire Adventures. So I could use your help. So please, if you've thought of any of these shows, if you're like, oh, I really loved this, even if you could tell me, I think it was around this month of this year or something, even if you don't remember the exact video, and you could just describe the scene for me, that would be amazing. And again, it would really help out. It would give me a little bit less sort of, I could get through it faster, because it would allow me to concentrate on stuff that we have. So what are shows? Dragon, listen, all right? Listen. So anyway, that's the deal with that. Help with those excerpts would be much appreciated. And then last, but certainly not least, I did want to mention the schedule, which is something I like to do on the first of every month, or the first session of every month. I like to talk a little bit about what we're doing in the month coming up. So can I put this on a YouTube video? Well, I kind of have. But I will also try to do that now that you think of it. Now, I guess like sort of a separate little video, you mean? I might do that. I might also do that in the Patreon video that I always do, because I'm probably going to be doing that in the next few days. So I might, that's not a bad idea, Tom. I might do that actually. How show work? New to Twitch. Exactly. Okay, so here's what we got going on. Tomorrow, we have got Eberron, D&D with Infinity Beyond Eberron, Oracle of War. We will not be joined by Marie Bilodeau, because Marie is still recovering, but she is almost all the way back. She had a bit of a, there was an illness situation, but she is almost all the way back from that. So she'll be back for the next session for sure. I am happy to say, however, that our Eberron tomorrow is going to feature the video incorporating our new character and player. So Brandon O'Brien and Rowan Shallow and the art for Rowan Shallow will all be part of the new video. It is ready to go. So I'm excited about that. That'll be happening tomorrow. On Monday, we have Bag of Giving at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have actually got Mutants and Masterminds, and it will involve the players of Nathan Burgoyne and Kate Hartfield and Phoebe Barton, Eric Rockfort, and Marco Coltrera to benefit charity. So that Bag of Giving is happening. Mutants and Masterminds is always a good time, so you should definitely stop by for that. That is going to be Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at noon Eastern, we have got the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook stream with the amazing Tari Tunes, starting a new book called Midnight Rogue. So you will not want to miss that, especially if you enjoy what we're about to do today. Then at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, I'll be over at GOGCom's Twitch channel for Pen and Pixels with Talisman Adventures. So that's going to be cool. Friday the 10th, a week from today, we have the return of the New Jersey Webfest early selection winning. No, not that one. That one right there. Award-winning Court of Blades, Valaward. That's going to be happening Friday at 8 p.m., so 1 week from today. And then Saturday, the 11th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, it is the return of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. Very excited for that, as the fantasy and science fiction characters are going to link up and chat. The players will have to make their fateful decision of whether they're going to go with fantasy or sci-fi. It's going to happen on Saturday the 11th, so you will not want to miss that. Tuesday the 14th is Pen and Pixels Chained Echoes coming first. Please note that that's going to be starting earlier on GOGCom's Twitch channel. I'm going to be going from 1 to 4. That is to accommodate Shire Adventures on my channel, which will be happening from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. As you know, Shire Adventures has to be a little bit later on Tuesdays to accommodate work schedules for the players. So that's going to be happening from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And then 9 p.m. Eastern on the 14th, we have the triumphant return of the Our Vocalists with Zach Clay and now permanent Our Vocalist members, KP and Rem Alternus. So they are going to be joining us again for more Citizen Sleeper. And again, more Our Vocalist work to be done. By the way, I should mention Citizen Sleeper, I think, is just a couple more sessions. And next up after that is going to be a Phoenix Wright, specifically an Apollo Justice Ace Attorney game. So for those of you who love shenanigans will be coming with that. It's going to be great with those new vocal talent to go along with everything else. Then on Friday, we have D&D with viewers. That's right, 2 weeks from today, D&D with viewers Into the Unknown as we continue our playthrough of that really fun adventure from Pacesetter Games where chat makes the decision. And then on Saturday the 18th, we have more D&D with Infinity and Beyond Eberron Oracle of War again. Tuesday the 21st will be Pen and Pixels Chained Echoes again at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then at 5 p.m. Eastern, Shire Adventures again. That's on the 21st. Friday the 24th, we have again Court of Blades, Valorword. That'll be happening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Saturday the 25th, we have got more Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday the 28th, we have the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month. And at 4:15 p.m., we have got Pen and Pixels D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh finally, after being several months off because of illness and just things like that, stuff that was beyond anybody's control. So we'll get back into Ghosts of Saltmarsh then. And last but certainly not least, Friday the 31st is Inkle's Sorcery 4. So basically 4 weeks from today, we'll have more Inkle Sorcery 4. So we actually have at the moment only 2 Sorcery 4 sessions scheduled for the month of March. Today and next Friday, and on Friday the 31st. That's because of a variety of scheduling things. But it is possible that, if one of these other things does not work out, because remember, this schedule is done right on time thanks to the amazing Triffity Mats, who is now taking over scheduling. But having said all of that, sometimes the first week it's a little up in the air because of people who, schedules that happen in real life. But I'm very excited about that. Game of the Month nominations will next be happening on the 14th. So you've got basically a week from Tuesday, Marinda, is when the nominations will happen. Final vote will be on the 21st, and then I'll be actually playing it on the 28th. So that's what we've got with that. Very exciting. And so I wanted to make that announcement. Last but certainly not least, I know I have a lot of announcements today, but it's the first time I'm seeing all of you lovely folks. Last but certainly not least is I wanted to mention and show you folks that I have in fact gotten what I said I would. Now, you may remember that I talked about this last time, a couple of times ago, that when I was trying to get the stream running from Boscone a few weeks ago, that my graphics dock that I used for several years actually to make ArvBox viable, basically this mobile setup viable, just did not work anymore. Just does not work. So as a consequence of that, it means that basically the system that I have set up is not going to work if I want to do any kind of video game stuff, or if I want to be doing anything relating to like calling up the Zoom chat and doing all that other kind of stuff. I was able to do it this time because there wasn't that much happening, but it meant that a lot of my screen space was used up. It was not good. So I was like, all right, the dock is not going to work anymore. And I've been thinking about doing this for a while. So thanks to support from all of you lovely folks in the Patreon and all the rest of it, I am going to be using from now on, when I go on the road, a combination of my laptop and my external monitor and this. This is a Steam Deck. So I got one. I've been thinking about getting one for a while because what this has is portability. It is basically a PC, and it means that I will be able to use the game off of this so I can be streaming off of my laptop, which means my laptop is not going to be strained. It'll just be doing the streaming, and this is going to be doing the Steam Deck. This is very, very cool. Very cool. This actually works as well as advertised. I have had a chance to try it. It actually uses the capture card. If you remember a couple of years ago when I was streaming the Final Fantasy VII Remake with my PS4, and it was actually before we moved into this house, and we were staying in this place where I was literally streaming from a closet. And I was able to do it because there was an actual USB capture card that works really well. That's what this is going to be using. Works exceedingly well. And it uses my Logitech controller, my DualShock, my trusty DualSense controller that I've had forever. So I am able to do that. So that means any kind of video game type stuff, like for example, if we're playing Jedi Survivor, that's a good example of a game that if I'm on the road, I'll be able to stream it because of this. So very cool. I will report more on the use of the Steam Deck over time. I have been very impressed with this so far. It works very well. The controls are very good as like a handheld device. The sound is really good, very impressive. And so I like this a lot. I've been very impressed with this so far, and it's going to do exactly what I wanted it to do. This is absolutely something that I got expressly for this purpose, to be able to use this when I go on the road and to be able to literally stream mobily video games without having to just use my laptop to do it. So this will give me a little more space and a lot more room. So I'm excited about that. The version is the 256 gig. I got that one Dragon because it gives you a little more headroom for the internal storage, but the 512 is not necessary, honestly. Also, you have a little SD card slot, as you can see right there. And so that you could fit a huge card in there for relatively cheap. So that can do the rest of it. As far as how big the screen is, I don't remember. It's a 1280 by 800. That doesn't sound right. It's a 1200 by 800. Anyway, it's a very nice screen graphically, sort of, as you can see. And I've had a chance to actually play on this so far. I just downloaded a couple of games basically for testing. I was even able to get Guild Wars 2 to run on this. It runs a little weird because it's a little weird. It might help a little bit against the TIE fighters, depending on how it works. One of the things they did very well with this is create a new control scheme. So they created a control scheme that's supposed to be able to work with a lot of these things. I even played around with the idea of trying out, I couldn't believe I was thinking about this, a game like Persona 5, because I was like, I wonder if that would be something. I wouldn't stream it. It'd just take too damn long. But is this something that would be worth playing on this? So we'll see. It's a scheme which basically, so you've got these two analog sticks. They each click in. These things are trackpads. So they're literally these two trackpads that you can both click in on, and which you can do this. Then there's these trigger buttons, right? And you've got back buttons, which is like actually overkill for most games, but not necessarily for an MMO. Like if you're playing an MMO, actually it's not so easy. Imagine, for those of you who do WoW raids and stuff, trying to do that with this. You can, though. A lot of MMOs will run well on this. That said, I don't know that I'd be doing mostly MMOs on this. I would be playing other stuff. One game I did try to put it through its paces, and I've actually been having fun with. I haven't had a chance to play much of it because I've been too busy grading audio stuff and then revising, but I have had a chance to play some of the game Ys Origin. Some of you may be familiar with Ys, like an action role-playing game, which was bought for me, I think, by Jedi Burner years and years ago on Steam. And I was like, well, let me fire this up and actually see, and it runs beautifully on here. So that's very cool. And the battery life for a game like that lasts forever. I could play Slay the Spire on here for 7 hours. If you're playing The Witcher 3 at max settings, well, then the battery life is not so hot. But other stuff is going to be great. Yeah, I thought about it, Leorique. I thought about it. And because of this new scheme, that's exactly right, Marinda. Because of this new scheme, I do think that a game like TIE Fighter or X-Wing or whatever could actually work. And by the way, because they let you do whatever, like you can literally mod whatever you want, I actually ended up getting something which is free called the Heroic Game Launcher, which allows you to play Epic games and GOG games on here. So I can now play GOG games. It's still a little bit of a workaround, but I'm able to basically play GOG games on here, which means that I can play things like, for example, X-Wing, which I have on GOG, or TIE Fighter, or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, or any of those games, which I can actually play on here. So very impressed with this so far. And as I say, like it just like it's very slick. They clearly thought through how to make this actually functional. Remember, Valve is the place where hardware went to die. Think about the Steam controller, think about the Steam machine. They have not had a wonderful record in terms of actually getting hardware that works. This is a game changer, though. The Nintendo Switch is an amazing console, and I've talked about before how I got a lot of use out of the console, played a lot of good games on this channel using the Switch. But this is really a game changer for a lot of people because you really have your entire Steam library, just about all those games available to you. There are 8,000 games now that you can play on this from Steam. That's a lot of games. And you can play GOG games on that using the Heroic Game Launcher. It's completely fine. Like, that's totally runnable. In fact, even Linux people that I am constantly making gentle fun of, even Linux people got their moment in the sun because this whole thing runs on Linux, and they really, They really optimized it perfectly. So very cool. And I got a dock for it because this has literally one output, and that's it, right there. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. One output. It's a USB-C, and that's it. Nothing else. So the dock that you're able to get, you plug it in, and then you have HDMI out. You have Ethernet. You have a couple of USB-As. So you have to do that with the dock. But once you do that and you dock it, then you can put anything. And the thing is, you can use any like Amazon hub that you could get for $10. You can use with this too. So very impressive. And it allows you then to be able to play something like this on a screen. It's also Bluetooth compatible, so it works with PlayStation 3 controllers, 4 controllers, 5 controllers. It works with Xbox controllers. It works with Logitech. I already mentioned that it works with my DualSense, which I was really excited about because it's wired. It also has, obviously, Bluetooth headphones. It does have one other output jack. I lied. This jack for the audio. So you can actually do that as well. It works with a ton of different controllers. And it's a sturdy device. Like it's a sturdy device. So very impressive, very cool. There's lots of stuff online about how to mod it and do all this stuff. And that's like way beyond, no, thank you. I'm good with what I have. The only other things I would get for this would be at some point I might get a SD card for more storage. But it can also work with mouse and keyboard if they're Bluetooth compatible, or if they're USB compatible. Actually, I just thought of it because they'll just fit into the dock. It's a PC, except it looks like a Switch, and it's a little heavier. So, and it's very, very well optimized. The other thing that I liked about this too, which was a little surprising to me actually, is it also came with this case. It just for free. You just get the case. And it's a nice case. It's a hard shell case. And it's got this to hold the power adapter. So I'm, as I say, I did quite a bit of research on this, and I was like, you know what? Because the dock doesn't work anymore, I still want to be able to broadcast video games when I'm on the road, especially if I'm traveling with family and we're going to be gone. Like if we ever travel somewhere now we're moving into the later stages where hopefully the pandemic is more manageable. If I'm going to be traveling with family and visiting in-laws on the West Coast or whatever, and I'm going to be gone for like a month, this is going to give me the opportunity to continue to stream on a regular schedule video games as well. So I'm very excited about that, and it upscales beautifully. And they've made a ton of tweaks to make the software. They just keep adjusting it. They've really hit a home run with this. I'm really impressed with this. I agree, but you know how totally, Miranda, but how often does that happen? Like 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, nope, you have to buy the case separate. You have to buy. So and the thing is too, I bought a third-party dock because it was much cheaper because it does the same thing. Like Valve has a dock, which is more expensive. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And all the third-party docks work exactly the same. It's got to be a loss leader for them because what they're selling this for, the 64 gig version of this is $400. That's very cheap for what is essentially a fully functional, high-level gaming PC. Now, high-level does not mean like cutting edge. It's not bleeding edge PC. Okay, it's not going to do that. But this is roughly has the power of between a PS4 and a PS5. For something in this form factor to have the power between a PS4 and PS5 and to run essentially everything is almost miraculous. Like, it's astonishing how much, and I've seen lots of things about this replacing people's different gaming computers. My desktop system is still stronger. I'm still using my desktop stuff. This is not going to replace that. But for anything I'm doing on the road, absolutely. Absolutely. Link it in. Do you get a percentage? I don't get a percentage. That's very kind of you to ask that, Tom. I don't get a percentage. But but listen, if Valve would like to speak to me about, sponsoring my event, and then I would just have to tell the GOG people that I'm always loyal to GOG, and then I would tell them I can only do this if I'm allowed to play GOG games in the Steam Deck, and that's how that works. I will link, however, the dock that I got. No, I mean, jokes aside, I am exceedingly impressed. I saw, as I say, I did a lot of research on this before getting it, and when the dock just refused to work anymore, I'm like, well, the time has come to step forward. So, okay, so the link is. Okay. Oh, interesting. Is that the way it works? I honestly don't know. I don't have an Amazon affiliate arrangement. Um, but that should be showing you, I think, what I got. You can see that it's on sale right now. It's $30. But it's got, Ethernet, charging, HDMI, two USB A's. The only thing it doesn't have is a display port. The Valve one has a display port, but that's a use case that's way more specialized than what I would do, honestly. So yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how to do the affiliate links. I'm not even an Amazon affiliate or anything like that. So I'll have to think about that in the future. Anyway, I will let you know how it works, but I did want to let you know and thank you because it's because of the community support that I'm able to get this. And again, I want to emphasize the reason I got it is because I'm going to be using this for channel broadcasts with this device when I'm playing video games. I don't need it necessarily for D&D stuff, but when I'm doing anything video game related, from Sorcery to again Jedi Survivor, when I get that, to any of those games, that is going to be something which is going to be happening on this channel. It's going to be happening on this machine. So that's the deal. Yeah, it does. Well, actually, though, Arudinel, I have to say the GPU might be better than you think. It's a very, very well optimized GPU. Obviously, I'm not expecting miracles, but I think you'd be surprised at how well optimized the display port is. But yeah, 4K, no, it's not going to do any of that. But they have improved the scaling considerably. So yeah, so as I say, I've put it through its paces a little bit, but yeah, you'll get a chance to see more of that when I actually run this stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited to try that out, and this is a direct replacement. It also means that now what I'm down to portability wise is laptop, monitor, that, and then my little bag, which now has not even my webcam anymore. It has just a stand for the monitor. It has the cables again for the monitor. And then it has an extra mouse in there. So I've reduced my footprint from when I started ArvBox back in the day. Excuse me. And I was using a rolling suitcase to carry it. And I built a computer that was super portable. And then I got a good enough laptop that I could reduce it further. First of all, computer, lowered the footprint of the computer, got the laptop, and then got the dock to sort of fit in with it. And now I've reduced even that as well. So I'm just reducing and reducing and reducing so I can have maximum portability as that kind of stuff. Right. So ArvBox is still in play. It's just that ArvBox has really morphed over the years. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, is it really? Wait, is the dock 200% price, TomTom? Or do you mean the Steam Deck is? I'd be surprised if the Steam Deck was that high, but maybe. But the dock, it could be. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, it's surprising, Arudinel, though. Like it again, it's one of those things where you're like, is it really? But it runs pretty well. Like, and admittedly, I also have only tried it so far on a couple of these. Like I tried Talisman Origins on it, works beautifully. I tried Ease Origin, works beautifully. I tried Guild Wars 2, works beautifully. I even tried the Brothers Tale of Two Sons just to make sure that the controllers worked, works beautifully. And the graphics on all those are good. Now, when I played Jedi Survivor, that's a AAA bleeding edge title. So we'll see. The big one that everyone's been playing on the Steam Deck is Elden Ring. And a lot of people say that Elden Ring is just absolutely gorgeous and works really well. Again, within limits, but like it's pretty cool that these options are there for it. So, and I thought, Lyric, again, I was like, I don't know that I want to stream Persona because I feel like it's just so long. But it would be really funny if I ended up actually trying that and enjoying Persona. Like, I have to be honest, I am enjoying Ease Origin way more than I thought I would, just because the form factor, it's fun to play on this one. You know what I mean? So, like, Yeah, it's amazing though how fast. What's up, Drew? When the Misfits started, Glenn Danzig started his own record label called Blank Records. He registered the name before the actual company Blank Records did. So when Blank Records went to Danzig to buy the name off him, he made a deal with him that the Misfits would get 30 free hours of studio time. That's freaking awesome and seems totally accurate. That seems to totally fit. I'm sorry, Tom. That sucks. Can you get it? Well, wait. Can't you get it? Can you get it shipped elsewhere and then travel from Croatia to that country within Europe? You could do that, right? Yeah, it does. Like I'm interested to see how it's going to work with something like Jedi Survivor, which it might work timing wise. This game that we're playing now, Sorcery 4, this would be freaking amazing on this game. Would be no problem at all. So yeah, that would be my suggestion, Tom, because I think, I just am really impressed that it's as effective as it is at doing what it says it will do. Because I'm used to being like, oh, it does this, but it really does do that. It really does play almost everything. And some of them, obviously, you have to lower the settings, but it's not a frame, like it's not a slideshow at all. Like you can play The Witcher 3 legitimately can play The Witcher 3 and do so credibly. And, so all that is like very cool to me. And again, because of my use case, this laptop doing the streaming, this doing the game playing is going to be really cool. And I tried it out and it works perfectly. So I'm super cool. Yeah, Thunder Snow. I hope you were enjoying the Thunder Snow. I know one of your family members that will be enjoying the Thunder Snow, Emily, for sure. Okay, thank you for putting up with me and all those announcements, folks. Let us get into the game with no further ado. That's not the game. We need to get rid of that. And there we go. And now I can fire up Sorcery 4. Let us do it. This is a game that we can play here. We could have played, I'm just looking at my games on here. I could play easily, we could have played Purgatory. We could play Scribblenauts. We could totally play Lego Lord of the Rings. We could even have played, chat, I Love You, Colonel Sanders. Could even have played that game on the Steam Deck. All right, let's do it. Where are we? Sorcery 4, right. There we are. Okay. So, let us also pull up. I already have the polls up. Shut up, Crow. On March 1st, though, I saw our cardinal. We have a family of cardinals that lives here. Cardinal is my favorite bird. And the cardinal has returned, so we are very excited because the cardinal's back. There we go. Lovely. It all works. You have The Witcher 3 installed? Yeah, it can do it. But I'm saying, if you think about like, what was the big one that they always used to do, that they always used to say? It was it Crisis? There was this one game that they were always like, oh, if you can play Crisis on it, and that was the epic, level of what people could do. I think it was Crisis was the big go-to test game that everyone wanted to try, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Alice is missing. Yes, I've heard of that, and in fact, I always get that mixed up with The Remains of Edith Finch. But yes. It is true. Witcher 3's been out for a while. Yeah. That game's like 5-6 years old, right? I want to say. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the Steam Deck, which was super cool. So one of the things that you can mod into it, when you first get it, some people argued that the screen was not saturated enough. So there's a mod in the official thing. They have a way to install the mod that's super easy, and it like basically manages it all for you. A thing called Vibrant Screen, which just you up the saturation, and it's like you're looking at a new screen. It's amazing. I was like, because the colors were like fine, and then I did that. I'm like, holy crap, they're awesome. And I like saturated colors. So it was super cool. Yeah. It was Crisis. Later Witcher 3, yep. But it was like, if it plays that, it'll play anything. Okay, so here we go. We are here. Let's do it. So, we had a very eventful last session, folks. A very eventful last session. We got in trouble We got thrown out of a building, this building specifically. We almost fell to our death, but we managed to survive using our magic. And we did manage to get into this area of the Fortress of Mampang. We have 10 out of 18 stamina. That was not so hot. We were doing better on stamina, but we got down very low and we managed to heal ourselves. 8 gold, that's pretty good. And 1 ration, and we've already eaten for today. Also, we have used the fox, unfortunately, so we're going to have to wait until we can call upon the fox again. But it was all in an effort to survive. So we made it here. And as you know, you will have a chance to make decisions about what happens in this game. But as we are in the process of doing this, the first choice is going to be easy because we already did this as it is. And we're going to actually be able to walk into this tower. So you get back to your feet once more, somewhat refreshed. So I'm going to open the door. Try the door and find it open but stiff. Okay, so... Okay, right. We already did this thing with the field. Okay, no. That's right. So I think we went... I need to remember here, chat. Did we go to... Because we can no longer rewind. Masters of Magic. Oh, my goodness. I haven't thought about that game for a long time. Chat, remind me, for those who played this last time, I don't think we went to this tower. Right? I don't think we did. Remember, we're trying to get the Crown of Kings, which is the Archmage of Mampang has. So it was still an option. Okay. So we basically have 2 options, chat. We can go to the tower. We don't have these options. We came from here, so we're not doing that again. We can go to the tower, which is this way, or we can go through the open door and we can enter here and see whatever happens inside this place. And what we're trying to do eventually is get up to here and go up the tower and do all that kind of stuff. So... all right. So with that said, then, no, you can't. Oh, really? I thought you can't rewind though. Oh, I see. Okay. So we went here, we went there. Okay. Right. So we're not allowed to rewind now. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So good. That's helpful. All right. So, that means that we have those choices. So chat, first vote of the night, very simple one. $ vote space 1 means we go towards the tower. $, which is right, yeah. $ vote space 2 means we go in here. We are going to have to go in here fairly soon, but it doesn't have to be immediately. We could go to the tower first, and then go in here. Remember, we're trying to get to the Archmage. We do have some information. We do have some ideas and possibilities. We have some holy water, which can be used against him, supposedly. But I have no idea what this is. I don't know what the rest of this... I mean, you know, I don't know. This takes the Inkle, the sorcery books, and goes in a very different direction. So get your votes in now, please. And please spread the word if any of you are tweeting or spouting or any such things. Tooting, whatever the hell the Mastodon thing is. Please let people know that we are here and having fun. So $ vote space the number. $ vote space the number. No problem. I hope that you made it in the oven and not next to it. The choices are just $ vote space 1 means you go towards the tower. We go towards the tower over here, Drew. $ vote space 2 means we go in here, basically into the fortress proper. We're going to have to go here soon. The question is whether we go here first. We've already been in these areas. So do we go here or do we go in there? Hey, Rignor. I'm glad to be playing this game again. I like sorcery. Yeah, the Archmage, I'll tell you what. This whole thing is going to be an interesting experience. I think we do have some things going for us. We have a lot of, like, getting, you know, we got hurt a lot by those bees, But we got a lot of beeswax, which is something which I think can be used as a ration, but in any case can be very useful for certain spells. And we will not need to have any more beeswax the rest of the adventure. We got plenty. So that's really great. And we have obviously some clues. We went to that chasm where the ghosts were, and they told us about the fact that there's this holy water, this whole bit. So we have clues that we can work with, which is great. So yeah. I'm still trying to get my head around, Miranda, if I like the no rewind thing. I haven't decided yet. I need to see how it works in practice. I looked up, after I saw that twist had happened, I looked up people's reactions, and like it seems to be very split on whether people like that or not. So we will see. Okay. We have done last call, so we are going to go left. Let us go to the field. You move onward through the long grass, not glass. Then something large slithers over your foot. Hopping back, you see a large snake disappear into the wheat. Ooh. Okay, do we attack? Or do we back away? $ vote space 1 is attack. $ vote space 2 is back away. Yes, Dragon Spear. Save Scumming Alliance. Hates it, precious. Yes. So what do you think, chat? $ vote space 1 means we attack the snake. $ vote space 2 means we back away from the snake. True, Miranda. We did, you know where we did a fair bit of rewinding, though, was in the second book. In Kare's City Port of Traps, we definitely did some rewinding. I think. We did very little, if any, in the Shamantanti Hills. We did maybe a little bit in the Seven Serpents, but we did more of it in Kare. So, a snake for a snack can always come handy. No, it just means, I don't think so. I think it just means we back away from the snake. I don't think it means we back away from the tower. It just means we back away from the snake. Snake could be a means of alert system. I could see that. All right, last call. We trot on it, and like immediately you hear woo, 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 like the entire fortress. Hundreds of guards just like flood out of the gates. Just like, well, this was a good run through. Now, I'm curious if Mrs. Dunsel is voting to attack so as to get food out of this. Because Mrs. Dunsel's primary goal in these games is to make sure that our chat is well fed, knowing how if we're not fed, it ends up costing us later when we don't have food. So I'm wondering if this is a food-based decision. Well fed and with hot chocolate. You remember that well. Yep. Oh, that was so fun. All right, last call, folks. Last call. We need someone to break this tie. $ vote space 1 to attack. $ vote space 2 to back away. If you wish to change your vote, you can do $ change vote space and then either 1 to attack or $ change vote, all one word, space 2 to back away. So please get your vote in now. Please, please, please. Please and thank you. What? What do you mean? My settings are preventing Sean from... Wait, well, hold on. I was not aware that I had those settings. I will... Wait a second. Just tell him to hold on. I will change that immediately. I had no idea that I had any such settings. channels and videos. So here's the thing though. It's a new channel. Yeah, I allow raids from channels that meet the following requirements. Minimum number of viewers, 1. Maximum... Hold on a second. Thank you, Skiffy and Fanty. Oh, so Skiffy and Fanty were raiding. Yeah, because the minimum account age in days is 30 days. And the reason that that's the case is to avoid basically bot channels or the equivalent of them from raiding. It cuts down on potential trollism. That's the deal. So I could change that. Do you want me to... yeah, like that's kind of like minimum. I just have literally like 1 minimum viewer, which I think is reasonable. And then minimum account age in days is 30. So that's why. I mean, I could change that just long enough for you to raid and then switch it back. How long has Skiffy and Fanty been around as a channel? Next time, yeah. Next time. Welcome, Prince Justin. Yeah, I could... It looks like everybody already came on. Clack, 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 clack. Thank you so much to Skiffy and Fanty for the raid. Oh, man. How did everything go today? And again, yeah, my apologies. My settings are very minor, like in terms of who I allow. I pretty much allowed almost anybody to raid me, but the requirement is the channel has to be 30 days old, and that's just kind of a security measure to prevent trolls and the like. So I apologize unreservedly, but it's good to see everyone from Skiffy and Fanty. I hope you had a good time. I'm sorry that I could not check out the... It's not the maiden stream, but check out one of the earlier streams of Skiffy and Fanty, so I can say I was there when. Thank you so much for the resub, Configuration Queen. Welcome, welcome. 24-month streak, 26 months of support. Thank you, thank you. Clack, clack, clack. What's the clack, clack, clack? Is there a thing I need to know about the clack, clack, clack that I should have been aware of? Should I be aware of those things? Good to see Rising Tides, of course, and Prince Justin and Triffid and Configuration Queen and everyone from Skiffy and Fanty. Thank you, everybody. We're crustaceans. Aha. Yes, you folks should follow Skiffy and Fanty. You should also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. All finer, retailers / places that have podcasts. You should check out the Skiffy and Fanty podcast, as I have, largely because apparently all of them have ended up on my channel. Not everybody, but like Sean, Brandon, Triffid, Prince Justin, Mike, like a lot of Skiffy and Fanty folks end up on my channel. There we go. See, okay, now I'm going to make sure here that I want to make sure that I follow. I don't think I can do it from there. I'm going to check that out right now. Thank you for the there you go. Thank you, Drew. Yeah, let me make sure I follow right now. Oh, no, I don't need to follow Drew. I already follow Drew. You should follow him too. Follow. Huzzah! There we go. And actually, you know what? In 3 days, you'll be able to raid me normally because you created it back on February 6th. So in 3 days, it'll be March 6th, and you'll be able to raid me anyway. So you're 3 days shy of that one. So 2-hour stream on Skiffy and Fanty discussing Ogdechovwe Ekpeki VC situation, publishers altering older works, AI writing our war season. So basically all the easy ones, right? Like all the easy issues, Oh, man, that whole situation regarding that first situation was seriously... And then publishers altering all... Wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I bet that was really interesting. So welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all. And you folks the folks who just came in, should know that we are trying to decide whether to attack a snake or back away from the snake before we head to this tower over here, and then come out of the tower and go into the Fortress of Mampang. So right now we have a poll up that is tied. $vote space 1 means that we attack the snake. Vote space 2 means we back away from the snake. So now is your chance to get in your decision. Please get in your choice right now. Aha. Clearly the answer was everyone wanted to attack. Obviously, we need to attack the snake. All right, going once. Going twice. Okay. Alrighty, attack it is. You slash at the snake, but only manage to scythe a few stalks. You lose sight of the beast as it slithers away. The sun is sinking. All right. Let's go to the spire. You walk on through the field of wheat. The spire stands in front of you, as high as an ancient tree, but impossibly thin. How can it stay upright? At the base is an opening just large enough to enter. Now, as always, chat, whenever I'm given a chance to look at something, unless I think it's going to, like, if you look at something, it means you can't do something else, I'm just going to do that because I'm going to assume that chat is going to want me to, like, actively gather information. So I'm looking up at the spire. The spire is built from tiny stacked stones into a low, pointed tower. It is clearly old and somewhat poorly maintained. There is a low door at its base, though it hardly seems large enough for a person to enter. You could venture inside the dim space within the narrow spire. The sun is now sinking down. It will be night soon. Okay, so chat, well, actually, I already know this. We're going inside the spire because that's what we wanted to do. Weak light filters in from above, but the ceiling is shrouded from view. There is no floor, but the grass underfoot is pale and short. At the center of the room is a small shrine, a cut stump of wood on which stands a tiny clay idol. Interesting. All right, so what should we do, chat? Should we search the space, approach the shrine, or leave? $vote space 1 to search the search the space. $vote space 2 to approach the shrine. $vote space 3 to leave. One of the things I love the most about this game is how things which seem like just throwaway moments sometimes blow up into something way bigger than you could ever have imagined. So, like, for example, I could easily imagine that, like, attacking the snake could have led to this full, like, encounter with, like, a snake man who's like, why do you attack me for just being a snake? And it could be this whole big thing, and you would never have expected it. But it's just the way that Inkle has done such a brilliant job in, like, opening out these areas. Really cool stuff. All right. Well, last call, though it looks like chat's pretty definitive about this. They want to search the space. Can't blame you. Can't blame you for wanting to search the space. And I don't know. I can imagine a lot. I love the way he delivers that line. Okay. I saw, by the way, episode 1 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Thumbs up. It is definitely a little bit more of a setup episode. It is not among the greatest of all time of the episodes, but it's solid. Some very cool, fun moments in it, and sets up a lot for season 3. I, as you might be able to tell, am a little bit of a fan, as I've talked about on stream many times, of The Mandalorian. It's great. Okay, search space. Yeah, the story was minor, but I think the story is just setting stuff up, honestly, Dragon. Okay, you investigate around the shrine, but find nothing except a rotten ladder bolted to one wall, most of its rungs missing. Okay, that sounds a little troubling. All right, well, do we scale the ladder? That's $vote space 1. Do we approach the shrine? $vote space 2. Or do we leave? $vote space 3. Scale the ladder, approach the shrine, or leave. Scale the ladder, approach the shrine, or leave. Yeah. Yep. All right, we're going to last call this. I am very happy with the pace at which we're voting this time, chat. This has been great. Let's keep this up. Quick votes and keeps us moving along through the game, so I love it. And loving it. Yeah, you got to go $vote space 3, Tom Tom. Lovely. All right, going once. Going twice. Tom Tom's like, get the hell out. Unfortunately, I think you're getting outvoted on this one, Tom Tom. It looks like we're scaling the ladder. You attempt to scale the ladder, but there are too few handholds, and the ladder is far too old to be of any use, even if there was anything worth climbing up to. Okay, well, since we already... Well, no, I guess I shouldn't assume. All right, let me just open up a very simple one. So, approach the shrine or leave. Let's make this fast, folks. $vote space 1 is approach the shrine. $vote space 2 is leave. So, $vote space 1 is approach the shrine. $vote space 2 is leave. Again, this is brought to us. The original ARVBot way back in the day was programmed by Netowin, who did a great job with it. And using that framework as a sort of inspiration, this has been built from the ground up by Effect Life, who's done an amazing job with this. The themes can be changed around, like to make them GOG specific or this specific and all that. So very, very cool. I should actually ask... At some point, this is if Effect Life is watching this VOD later, I know that Effect Life's probably asleep right now, but Effect Life, if you get a chance to check this later on, I wonder if there'd be a way to do something in the colors. I don't even know if it would look good. It might not look good, but in the colors of the logo. So basically, you know, gold and maroon and white are basically the colors. I wonder if there's a way to do a theme like that without it being a huge pain in the butt. So I'm just letting you know if that's a thing. Oh, no problem, CQ. All right. Well, I'm not even going to last call this because everyone wants to approach the shrine. Let's do it. You approach the shrine with cautious reverence. A hefty tree stump, it has been carried here and carefully cut and sanded. The idol on top is unpainted clay. All right. So again, I'm going to look at the idol. Just look at it. The idol is small enough that you need to squat to see it. It is roughly made with pits and defects. It is human-shaped, clutching a sword that points towards the ground. It lacks a face and is unnaturally cold to the touch, as though it drank your warmth. It sounds terrifying. So, should we pray at the shrine? Leave the shrine alone? Or destroy the idol? I have no idea. Can you eat it? It doesn't look like that's an option, Skiffy. Which I'm going to assume for the purposes of this is actually being run by Sean Duke, who you should all check out. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so pray at the shrine, leave the shrine alone, destroy the idol. We are legion. There's no one person, that's true. It could be multivariate, that's true, and multivariegated. I guess my question is it Skiffy or Fanty? Which one of you? Okay. I have no idea because I don't think that this exists, this idol thing. I don't think this exists in the original game book. So I have no clue. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you go in something and it's just like, Inkle is like, how about this? And it really is just almost a different game. But still inspired in so many ways by the artwork, the feel, and of course the overall mission. But man, super well done. The feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives. Skiffy and Fanty and horror blend seamlessly together. I can imagine. So it's like a Skiffy King. Fanty King, Skiffy King. You've heard of a Rat King. Now there's a Skiffy King. So speaking of that, I took my car in for its 60,000 mile service today. And car's great, in great shape, but they did have to flush out this one system and clean off this one thing because they found in the engine mouse droppings. And I was like, oh no, I'm like, I don't have a garage. And they're like, no. You live in Connecticut. They're like, we have people come in constantly with you know, with stuff that happens, it doesn't matter whether you have a garage, whether you don't have a garage, whether you put it up on stilts. The mice, it's warm and they smell things and it's comfortable, so they just go into the engine and then they leave. And I was like, oh, wow. And they're like, yeah, I didn't really damage anything. It's fine. You know, we just have to clean this and this. They're like, but if you want, you can get a peppermint spray that you can spray on the engine block, and apparently that keeps the mice away. So I was like, okay. I mean, the mouse was not there. There were no mice there. They'd left a long time ago, obviously. But I was just like, okay. So I was like, that's cool. So yeah. So there is. So that's the deal. There's actually, you know, I had mice hanging out in the engine. No, they didn't find a big snake in my car. That would have sucked. Yes, that would have been a big no. Okay, last call. I think I last called this already. A mint a day keeps the mice away. Yeah, apparently they do not like that smell, and if they smell it, they go away. Tend to. So I was like, okay. Well. All right, going once. Going twice. All right. I love this split, by the way, between pray at the shrine or destroy the idol. Notice that nobody is saying leave it alone. Everyone's like, destroy it, heretic, or pray to it, you know, because you must. All right, Chad, here we go. Praying at the shrine. You kneel down to pray at the shrine. Your mind empties and you hear whispering from far below. The earth shifts slightly as the fox recoils from the presence in the narrow room. Words are coming unbidden to your mind. Oh, God, this is super creepy. Do we stop praying or whisper the words, chat? $ vote space 1 is stop praying. $ vote space 2 is whisper the words. I remind you, we cannot rewind anymore. So I don't know about this. Oh, I didn't know that, Arudinel. That's interesting. I did not know that. Wow. Thank you for the vote, Joe Bry. Welcome. Or Jobry. It may be Jobry. If I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. It didn't say you have to pray to that idol. Maybe it's Billy Idol. With a rebel yell, you got more. In the midnight hour. The number to vote in the quick vote. All right, last call. We're going to see what happens when we whisper these words. If we get some god, if our god is like, hello, I am the plague god, Misra. You will face me. You will follow the creed of vomitous death and rotting skin, leprous, blah, 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 blah. If we get something like that, y'all are to blame, all right? Oh, if you want to say 1, you do $ change vote, space, and then 1. Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite, if we were doing Curse of Strahd, one of my favorite sequences in that entire game was the sequence in the Amber Temple where, I don't know if you folks remember, but they were going into these, like, they were touching the different altars to get the gifts from the dark powers, and one of them was from, like, this god of pestilence. Playing that was a blast, like an absolute blast to play that. $20, we can name Billy Idol's first band. All right, let me think. So Billy Idol is 80s. So my guess is we're talking late 70s, early 80s is the band. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Rising Tides, for gifting a sub to Skiffy and Fanty. Thank you. 28 gift subs. Holy cow, man. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you. And welcome, Skiffy and Fanty. Yeah, I had heard that one, Arudinel. I heard that. Does this mean I get... No, but you get a quill. You get a special quill, which you can see there. So it's got to be British. Drew, is it a band I would know? Is it a band I would know? Maybe. Because I have a feeling it's going to be like a twist thing where it's not going to be punk at all. All right, ready? The greatest shot in the dark. There's no way this is true. The Squeeze. It's the Squeeze. That's clearly what it is. They were a punk band? Okay, then it wasn't the Squeeze. I don't know. I have no idea. Although, if the Squeeze was a punk band, tempted by the fruit of another, Generation X. Really? No, I would never have gotten that. I would never ever have gotten that. Not a chance in the world. Okay, going once, going twice. All right, chat. We're going to whisper the words. Ugh. You murmur the words in your mind, and they grow thicker and faster, turning from trickle to a torrent. There are prayers for suffering, for safety, for rain and sun and dry lands. There are words for a ruined world, and the words for a breaking bud. There are tumbling seasons and birds in flight and stars in the sky. Wow. The spire on which you stand seems to extend in height, as though its tip touched the sky and its base lay at the center of the world. This is wild. This is what I mean. This does not exist in the book. Wow. I don't know what this means. Okay, same vote, chat. Same vote. $ vote space 1, stop praying. $ vote space 2 means keep praying. Wild. I don't know what this means. We pray and we hear, in the midnight hour, more, more, more. It's a good day for white wedding. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple. They've had a couple of encounters. The way you get into the fortress is the way you do it in the book. So there's a few, but I look at chat. Chat's just like, keep this going. All right. All right. All right. To be clear, whoever voted, Tom is like, what are you all doing? All right. I don't know, Tom. They want us to keep praying. What can I tell you? You murmur onwards, but despite the extent of the space your prayers have created, no voice enters it. No voice replies. This place is empty. Your words dry up, spent, as the earth shifts again. The spire is once more silent. Wordlessly, the fox moves away from you. In its place, there is nothing, only silence. Your maximum stamina has increased. You leave the spire. What? It doesn't do anything now. We have no god. We have no god. But see, now here's the thing, though. We couldn't speak to our gods anyway, right? At least not to Libra. We couldn't speak to the gods, I think, inside this fortress. So maybe that's wild. But see, I don't know that that's what it means. I don't think it means that you're an atheist. I don't know what that means. That's wild, though. I mean, if we get to... it'll be great if we, like, get more health, you know, and, like... Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, it seems kind of good. I don't know. That's wild. Okay. You stride onwards through the tall swaying stems. The stalks nearby shiver, and then the snake you saw earlier bursts up. You twist away as it rears up and goes for your neck, and your blade is out before it can disappear again, and you track it with hawk eyes. But you have fought larger serpents than this one. Okay. So, I don't know, but I'm not sure if that's what happened. I mean, I think it was sort of scared or something. So, do we fight against the snake? Do we hide against the snake? Do we cut down the wheat? Or do we cast a spell? Here's what we got. We have force field. We can create a force field. I'm not going to, just to save time, I'm going to not tell, I'm just going to talk about what it does. I'm just going to say force field. 3 stamina. That costs 3 stamina, which is expensive given our stamina status at the moment. We could cast Zap. That requires 3 stamina. Yeah, exactly, because if you cut the wheat, the snake can't hide. Exactly. I could very much see that being an option. Do we have that? We could clone ourselves. I almost put in sucks. That's a whole different thing. That's only 1 stamina. Maybe it makes it harder for the snake to track us. Do that. Sap causes depression. Hopefully in the snake, not us. Let's see. FZSR. Oh, sure. It's, yeah, although it's not. I can try. Oh, wrong thing. How's that? Is that better, Trippin? Yeah, the menus are always loud. But the thing is that for some reason, the menus are loud and the regular game is normal volume, so, okay. So, Raz. Now we do have a lot of beeswax. So, Raz would allow us to sharpen our blade, which would do more damage. I don't know that it does anything to the snake at the moment, though. But that wouldn't cost us any stamina. Okay. Raz. Give him the old razzle dazzle. Okay. And then we've got L, right? Law. Control non-intelligent creatures. So those 3 stamina ones are kind of rough, I gotta be honest. But they could be useful, theoretically. So, here we go. I don't need 10 options, I only need 9. And, okay, we can still do that. So, all right, chat, lot of votes here. $, that's true. A sharpened blade would be good versus a snake. I could see that too. I'm just thinking about the time. So, $vote space 1 means we fight the snake. $vote space 2 means we hide from the snake. $vote space 3 means we cut down the wheat to keep the snake from hiding. $vote space 4 means we cast Foff, which is force field, that uses 3 stamina. We only have 10. Cast Zap is lightning bolt. That's 3 stamina. Again, we only have 10. That's $5. $vote space 6 is cast 6. Effectively. I actually just noticed I did that. Cloning, so that clones the caster. It costs 1 stamina. It clones us. Cast Sap means we cause depression. That costs 1 stamina. $vote space 8 means we cast Raz or Raise, which is sharpen our blade with beeswax. And then $vote space 9 is cast Law, which means we can control non-intelligent creatures, which is fine if this creature is non-intelligent. But if it is intelligent, then we're in trouble. So there you go. There are your $sign votes. Go ahead and get your vote in now. And for those of you who are just new to this system, by the way, you can always feel free as you're voting. You can always say something like $vote space, the number you're voting for, space, and then explain it. You can be like, I think it's a bad idea to fight the snake, or we need to cut down the wheat to hide it so that it can't hide, or let's totally, I don't know, sharpen our blade because that way we can hurt it more easily, or whatever. So you can always feel free to do that. This is a democratic setup, but you can, of course, persuade within a democracy. That's why it works. Well, when it works, that's why it works. Okay, I'm going to last call this. I'm also going to save this poll, I think, which I have not done for a while, but this sometimes can speed things up with spellcasting. Okay. He's totally cut down the weight because it's a snake. I voted to fight. If we were a rogue, I would have voted for hide. You're sure you would have voted for hide and then attack from the shadows, right? Drew, that's how that goes. So you're like, I'm Batman. You're just a snake. I'm Wheat Man. You're actually Wheat Man. That's true. We could use that to make bread in the spire. Our new god is bread. I'm Snake Man. I'm Snake Man. Or we could do the other opposite and be just a naturalist. I'm David Attenborough, sitting in a pile of bat guano. All right, going once, going twice. All right, we're casting Raz. Using a little of your beeswax, you coat the edge of your assassin's sword and then cast your spell. The blade flashes and glows as the metal binds itself tighter into a razor blade edge. It defended itself. Darn it. Serpent's great coils are winding around your feet. In a moment, they will tighten and snap your ankles. You swing out wildly, hoping to chop it in two as it rears back out of reach. It sidles away, hissing. Coils towards you, moving with silent grace. Let me see if I can get it in there. I can. Yes. Yes. The serpent is retreating, but you give chase. You cleave the air with your sword, catching it unguarded. The terrible creature can barely hold up its neck. Oh, not enough. Oh, so close. Then the serpent is sliding across the grass towards you with lethal speed. You try a quick stab, but it moves like water and your blade seems to pass straight through it. That was so close. Knocks you backward into the grass. Your head spins. It snaps and bites at the air between you. You wait as the serpent shifts, exposing its belly. Then you attack. You cut a side blow. It slips away from beneath your blade. The serpent's movements have become sluggish and pained. It snaps and bites at the air between you. The serpent is now afraid. With the point of your blade, you aim to skewer it to the earth. With a great cloud of dust, the head of the serpent crashes to the ground, and the light in its eyes goes forever dark. 2 stamina lost. I'm going to take that. That's pretty good. Gleam on your sword edge fades. The sun is almost set, and the sky has turned a deep purple. Soon it will be dark once more. That's it? That's it? We don't get anything for the snake? Well, that was lame. Man. Okay. We're doing this because obviously... Yeah, it's true. The door closes behind you. You're inside the city. All right. Looking around, you were surprised to find that this part of Mampang is more like a city than you expected. There are merchants, laborers, and swaggering guards. Washing hangs from hooks outside the stacked houses. Of course, there are far more wicked glares and knives tucked into belts than even in Kare. Another night begins. You need to rest. Suddenly, you feel hooked fingers catch your arm. Okay. Should we draw our sword, shake the grip, or Turn around. Every now and then I feel a little bit worried 'cause I'm in the fortress now. Okay. Should have cut the wheat. So $ vote space 1 is draw our sword. $ vote space 2 is shake the grip. $ vote space 3 is turn around. Once upon a time there were snakes in my life. Now there's only grips in the dark. There's nothing I can say. It's total eclipse of the chat. I picked that entirely because of the song. I have a highlight actually on my channel from Legend of Grimrock some years ago where I was trying to get these rats, these big like rat men soldiers to come into the front of this like grate so I could poison them and not have to fight them later. So I was doing that a whole thing like, turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I see a rat. It was crazy. And I need your hold tonight. I'm gonna close this poll forever. And so chat's decided to turn. Okay, turn around. You turn around and catch glimpse of a hoary old beggar pulling at you. But then something happens and you lose sight of him. A moment later, the buildings of Mampang that you traveled so far to reach have disappeared. What? What the hell are we doing in Kare? You stand in a humid climate. Tall plants lean down on all sides, and a thin, watery sunlight leaks through some kind of glass ceiling choked with weeds. Okay. Chat, $ vote space 1 is where am I? $ vote space 2 is us saying Libra. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a vision or not? But I thought Libra couldn't reach us inside the fortress. But maybe so. $ vote space 1, where am I? $ vote space 2 is Libra. Yeah, and to be clear, hey, listen, any reason to look at more of Michael Schle's incredible maps? God, I love his maps. So freaking good. That right there, if we ever get a Michael Schle map, Rising Tides is here, right? Brandon, if we ever get a freaking Michael Schle map of Corel, and I could say this to Emily too, but I was thinking about it in game terms specifically, which is why I was talking about it to Brandon. But seriously, even for books too, Emily, Brandon, freaking Mike Schle doing a map of Corel would be just... Or the city, which I won't spoil, to which Greyshade is heading during Book 2, Renegade, and perhaps to which he arrives, ? Depending on what happens in Book 2, in Book 3. We'll see. I love it so much. Again, my two favorite cartographers working in the field these right now is... Meowing cats. Is Mike Schle and Say, I'm not pronouncing it right, Peku and Say, CZE, that I subscribe to their Patreon. Yeah. So remember, Libra has been the goddess of justice that sort of followed us for a while, and then we had a vision with Libra. So either where am I or Libra, one of the others. So are you talking about campaign cartographer? Is that what you mean, Prince Justin? Like because you did the map of that amazing map of my worlds, which I was still honored that you did. That was really cool. So are you talking about, is that what you used to make that map? And is that what you're talking about? That's cool. You did make a Renegade map, and Emily's Renegade map was super helpful because there was this whole confusing thing. Basically, it all boils down to, I'm going to say this again, all universe creators. Here's something very useful and helpful for all of you. North is up, okay? Don't be a special snowflake. Don't make north left. Don't make north like diagonally down to the right. It's up. North is up. And so it was so confusing trying to figure out directions because in this map that I was using at the time when I first did Renegade, it was not, north was not up. So Emily's map was super helpful. Super helpful. I'm glad Emily was able to understand it better than I was in some ways where I was just like, where the hell am I going? I did know where I was going, but it was just like the directions were very confusing for me. Okay, going once, going twice. This is 4, yes, sir. All right, I'm going to say, where am I? You look around, startled. The beggar is still here, but no longer holding your arm. He stands taller and seems better fed. That's better, he declares. Now we can talk more freely. Okay, so we could say, where are we? Who are you? We could say, who? Who the hell are you? Okay. I made that up. Who are you? Who? Ah, who the bleep are you? Okay. Where are we? Who are you? Or what have you done? It seems kind of like aggressive. What have you done? I've taken you back to Kare. So, here we go. Yeah. Where are we? Who are you? Or what have you done? What do you want to say, chat? $ vote space 1 is where are we? $ vote space 2 is who are you? $ vote space 3 is what have you done? $ vote space 4 is what is the air velocity speed of a laden African swallow? No, that part's not exist. Yeah. African or European? I don't know that. Ah. What is going on with all the yowling cats, man? It's freaking me out. Like a you are you. No one taking a lot of time in the fortress of Manpang now. Do. The Archmage is a piece of crap, and we're gonna show him how to do boom boom boom. Oh, who the hell are you? Who are you? Yeah, apparently I'm in a cat jungle. All right, last call. Can't wait to hear this dudar. Yeah. During the summertime, there's usually 1 or 2 cats that we'll hear on some nights. And usually you've got the and then like hissing and stuff like that, which I'm sure is a cat going off on some animal. You know, raccoon or fox or coyote or, you know, something. Or I guess cat versus cat. Cat versus cat. C versus C. CVC as opposed to PVE. CVC. All right. Where are we? I can't stand the Rolling Stones myself. The Rolling Stones basically have one good song to me, and the rest of it is like, I'm not a fan of the Rolling Stones at all. I like the Beatles a lot. I think the Beatles are better than the Who, but I think the Who, how do I put this? I think the Beatles pushed the envelope more than the Who did. But I think if you want an honest to God blow your ears out, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean just rock the freaking place out. Man, it would be hard to avoid the Who. By the way, not to get off topic here, just very quickly. This was very interesting to me. I like the band Cream. I understand Eric Clapton. People don't like Eric. Okay, fine. Just telling you, the fact that Eric Clapton is proven to be a jerk doesn't mean that he isn't a great guitar player. He is. So there is from 1968, the final concert that Cream did. They were only together for a couple of years before they split up. In 1968, they did a farewell concert at the Royal Albert Hall in London. and White Room, which is a song I like a lot and I've covered with my band. They play that. Okay, so there's this video on YouTube where a guy's basically reconstructed the whole thing. So I would suggest, if you're interested in this, listen to that song. Okay, 1968. White Room is very much at the beginning of it. That's the 1968 version. Then look at the 2005 version when Cream did a reunion tour. This is not that long, actually, before Jack Bruce and then later on Ginger Baker passed away. So now these guys who were in their 20s in 1968 are now in 2005. They are in their 60s. In fact, sometimes they're late 60s. And also in the Royal Albert Hall, which I think is really cool. They played their show, this one show when they were young, and then play another show in the Royal Albert Hall. But it is striking to me two things. I was talking to my daughter about this. One, how good it sounds. Like three guys, drum, bass, and guitar, they have a really full sound for something like that. And secondly, and this is the thing that kind of blows me away, the experience. Like, first of all, Jack Bruce is one of the great bass players. I'm sure Drew agrees with me on this. Jack Bruce is one of the great bass players of all time. Of all time. Like, you could put him up against, like, it would be hard for me to decide between Jack Bruce and Tony Levin. I do think Tony Levin is better, but it's not like a slam dunk. Jack Bruce is sick. So he's an incredible bass player. Rammstein. Well, yeah, but, Jack Bruce is so good. Anyway, so first of all, there's that. But it's the confidence with which they go with the song. You can definitely tell, especially Bruce, his voice is older. You can definitely tell that this is a guy who abused drugs and like his voice is older, the whole bit. But he knows but he still sings fairly well. And he sings with confidence, but more importantly, he plays with confidence. And it's confidence which only comes from experience. And Clapton is great singing and playing. And Ginger Baker is amazing on the drums, but it's the experience, the fact that they know how to play. It's the fact that even if they have lost facility with the instrument, and I'm not sure that they have, actually. I think they're all pretty much right where they were at the beginning in terms of their instrument. Leave aside the singing part of it for a second. But beyond that, it's the experience of knowing what works and what doesn't, of knowing what works with each other. There's this one riff that Jack Bruce plays. So the song, in a white room with black curtains at the station. Now the bass line is dum boom 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 boom. Very simple, right? But in this later 2005 version, later on, if you listen to the bass line, and you can because his bass is loud as hell because they've only got 3 players, so you need it to be up there. When he does that, and it's actually in the second verse. So at the party, she was kindness in the heart crowd. I don't remember what order. Anyway, so instead of doing dum bum bum bum, he does this dum dum bum 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 bum. Now here's the thing about that. He does it every time. Here's why that's awesome. First of all, it's not overwhelming the sound. It's right there. You need a bass player, I can tell you, having played in many bands. You need a bass player to be right freaking there. You sometimes even more than the drummer, because that's the filling sound, the backbone against which the rest of the band plays. It's always there. But by knowing how and when to go high and low, to play around the outside of it, to fill the sound without overwhelming it, to do so with knowing that he can do that without being like, I'm an egotist, check me out, but also not sitting in the background and doing bum, 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 like those are the simple notes. His facility is just astonishing to me because it's based on experience. He knows that he can do the da 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 boom 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 boom. He knows exactly how to be able to do that properly. And why am I telling you this story? Because I want to put in a vote for experience in whatever you do, whether it is, I'm thinking about Prince Justin as a wonderful critic, fantasy critic, literature critic, but I mean of the fantasy speculative fiction field, or the exceptional, great, how wonderful it's been to work with someone like Triffid, who has experience in many things, but in this particular case, as someone who is organized and knows how to coordinate and put things together and assemble groups and stuff like that. and or Emily, who has wonderful experience as an editor, and whose experience means that she can make suggestions and ideas and sort of get to the heart of what an author is trying to do with confidence and facility. I can't explain. I'm sure Brandon, if Brandon's still here, would agree with me about this, and poetry as well. I feel this too with somewhat with music, certainly with game mastering, and certainly with writing now, that I feel like I've developed that experience. That there are many things you can get. I'm not saying you need to spend 30 years before you can write anything worth anything. That's not true. But when people talk about the idea of like, well, we've gotten older, or there's this, or we don't have this. You know what you have, which you cannot buy ahead of time. You can't fake it ahead of time, is experience. And just even this game we're playing, this is the 4th book in the series, right? It's also Inkle's like 7th game or something. And the facility with which they write games here just shines through the game. So experience, yes, but it takes experience to know when to do that, Drew. You know what I mean? It takes experience to play around the edge in a way that isn't like losing the beat, losing the pocket, or making it seem like it's all about you. Like I just was struck by how well all 3 magicians, but 3 musicians, but in particular the bass player, in particular Bruce, plays that. Just great stuff. Yeah. No, I've heard a lot of people talk about that Rammstein, they go through this cycle where they're like amazing, and then they're like, but then they're like, no, they're really amazing musicians. Sometimes people go through this with Dream Theater too. Who's the most important? Oh my God, Miranda. What genre are we talking about? Because if we're talking about classical music, my answer would be Bach. If we're talking about classical music, with Beethoven and Mozart right there, and with a little bit of an extra, sort of like honorable mention to Stravinsky. If we're talking about classical musicians. Yeah, that's actually true, Triffid. But if we're talking about like modern music, then I'd need to know. Are we talking about jazz? Wayne Shorter, sadly, just passed away at the age of 89. Wayne Shorter is incredibly influential. But then there's also, Bird, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, the incredible, Lena Horne, Sarah Vaughan as vocalists, extraordinarily, from progressive rock, early Genesis. I mean, so it depends on what we're talking about. All music and no limit. Okay, in classical music, I would say Johann Sebastian Bach. In jazz, I would say... It's so hard to say influence. I think Miles Davis. I'm a little biased as a trumpet player myself, but Miles just moved so many people, and not just in jazz, but with fusion. So I would say Miles. In rock, I would say the Beatles. I mean, people like to slam on the Beatles because everybody does, talks about the Beatles. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a band that was as influential as the Beatles, only because they were sort of in a field on their own. There were other bands, but they were all doing like early Beatles stuff, like I Want to Hold Your Hand, all that semi-forgettable stuff. Tons of bands did that. You know what tons of bands weren't doing? Day in the Life, or Fixing a Hole, or anything on Sgt. Pepper, really. I mean, Sgt. Pepper is an incredible album. And if you want to talk about what I think is the most underrated influential band, I mean underrated, like lots of people know them and think they're amazing, but I mean underrated in the sense that I don't think we really know the level of impact. My answer to that would be Radiohead. I think Radiohead redefined how you think about making an album. So those are the 4. Bach, Miles, the Beatles, Radiohead. Oh, really? Yeah, no, I started playing trumpet when I was 7. I played trumpet. In fact, I actually auditioned at the University of Connecticut as a freshman to be a trumpet player. And if I had gotten that, I don't know that we'd be talking, chat. My life would have gone in a very different direction if I had gotten accepted. But if I had been playing bassoon, if I could have held the instrument the right way up, they would have taken me. But the year that I applied, there were like 50 trumpet players that applied, and I just I got lost in the shuffle. I ended up going to the University of Connecticut anyway for English, and then I ended up minoring in drama, and I kept my music. I mean, I released 3 albums with my band. We're working on our fourth, like, but yeah, yeah. So I play trumpet. Yeah, I could see that. Thank you. Oh, DB Chandler. Yeah. Oh God, I mean, like, well, that's what I mean. It's so hard to break it down. Bernstein, Leonard Bernstein. This is a guy who revolutionized musicals, revolutionized how we thought of musical theater. How would you even have, like, you want to talk about like how Hamilton revolutionized musical theater? I would agree, but Hamilton thought it could do that because of what West Side Story did. West Side Story proved that you could have music so offbeat, so discordant, that it literally took Bernstein weeks to get people in the pit orchestras, the top musicians in the world, to even know what the hell they were listening to. The syncopated, the they didn't know what they were listening to. These are people coming out of Roger, Oklahoma, where the wind come, ba 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 ba, 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 4 4 time is what we do. Like really simple stuff. And I mean, nothing against Rodgers and Hammerstein, but that's just like straight ahead stuff. Irving Berlin, Annie Get Your Gun, it's all straight ahead stuff. West Side Story was a grenade in the landscape. It completely changed the way we thought of musical theater. So you could also make an argument for Bernstein in the middle 20th century, because everything after that changes in terms of what we do. On all Chicago, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, the gun, oh yes, he reached for the ba 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 ba. All that Chicago doesn't even doesn't even get out of the onto a page, and start getting played in draft form without West Side Story, and that's Bernstein. So, yep, that's right. Let me tell you, if you've ever tried to transpose Stravinsky up a half step so it could be played on B flat trumpet, two thumbs, this guy, let me tell you, Stravinsky, oh my goodness. Yeah, the audience rioted because nobody really knew what Stravinsky was doing. I mean, geez, Gesualdi. Anyway, I'm going way too far out of the path. We need to talk about where are we? My bad. Sorry, I got it. You got me onto the subject of music, and that's what we did. Okay, where are we? Time, but yes, agree on Helter Skelter. Absolutely, absolutely. The Kinks. Um, you know, Listen, if you want to talk about like revolutionizing, how about revolutionizing folk music? Simon and Garfunkel. Silent Night with these news broadcasts of war. Um, Thank you for the follow, Jobry. Think about that. Think about Simon and Garfunkel and the Bridge Over Troubled Water, Sound of Silence. Sound of Silence is a revolutionary piece. So is The Boxer. Again, these are just extraordinary people. And I do want to give again. I want to put out a plug. If you have not heard Sarah Vaughan's singing is absolutely revolutionary in terms of what she does. Go watch a YouTube production of Sarah Vaughan singing "Send in the Clowns," and you will be struck. Hold on, my wife. Is that my wife? Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay. Apologies, chat. Had to deal with a minor emergency. Okay. So, first of all, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Jobri. Thank you so much, Prince Justin. It's very kind of you. And welcome, Jobri, to the Arvanauts in sub form. Thank you. Okay. Let's get back into the game. Love music discussions, but you know. Okay. Where are we is what chat has decided. Where are we? This is a favorite little spot of mine, a forgotten corner of Carre, the lost gardens of Briar. Even the gardeners who work here can't remember the way in. It's on all the maps, but no one can find the entrance. My own little fortress. He reaches rather tenderly for a nearby plant and pulls off a graying leaf. Wow. Who are you? Who are you? Or, what have you done? Or, this place is hidden from the Archmage. Or, I must return to Mampang. Okay. So, what should we do or say, chat? Should we say $VoteSpace1, who are you? Should we say $VoteSpace2, what have you done? Should we say $VoteSpace3, this place is hidden from the Archmage? $VoteSpace4, I must return to Mampang. Or $VoteSpace5, cinnamon buns without raisins are the greatest of foods. Okay, maybe that's just me. I'd still like to know who this dude is myself. I mean, I want to know who this guy is, and also like, can you help me? Can you be my new god? I don't have a god right now. Can you help me out? You throw a god my way? The $VoteSpace1 is who are you? 2 is what have you done? 3 is this place is hidden from the Archmage, and then I must return to Mampang, which we'll have to return to Mampang, but I'm assuming we're still in Mampang somehow. The Lost Gardens of Briar. It is interesting to connect Carre together with that in some way. So what say you, chat? I'm gonna last call this. Is that it? We're sticking with that. We're just gonna be like, get the hell out, guy. I don't care about your damn garden. We got to go back to Mampang. Mampang, yeah, exactly. You bring Mampang. You always carry Mampang in your heart. Whoop. Real journey is the Mampang we explored along the way. Who among us cannot Mampang with Mampangs? All right, going once. Going twice. All right. I must return to Mampang, you insist. I have a mission. Of great importance, I know. The beggar nods. But I must tell you, if you attempt your mission, you will die. Well, do we say I must take that risk? Should we say I cannot fail? Or I do not fear death? Get a Mampang man bun. Suddenly gotten real windy outside. So I must take that risk. I cannot fail, or I do not fear death. $sign vote space 1 is I must take that risk. $sign vote space 2 is I cannot fail. $sign vote space 3 is I do not fear death. And again, it's $sign vote space and then the number. There you go. Those are all good choices. Those are all good choices. Oh, another one is another one of those is if you're going to talk blues, Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson. The blues don't exist in their form without Robert Johnson. That's another guy who's right up there. Super influential. Yes, that's a good point, actually. So that's why it's hard to answer, Marinda, because it's really more of a conversation among people. If you want to be clear about it, Gregorian chant, right? Back to the guys doing the you should buy tickets to the Klein. Exclamation point Klein by gray shade. Straight monk calls like that. All right. I think we last called this. And the audiobook is very well along, by the way, chat. Serious progress on the audiobook, so very excited for that. All right. I must take that risk. Perhaps you could try to understand it first, he replies with a slight sigh. In Mampang, death can be quite final. The reach of the gods is limited there. There is not always a way out, and you will die. The old man smiles. Come, let's walk a little, shall we? He begins to saunter between the trees, and you follow. See, at the moment, I can't. Normally, I would just run this conversation where I'm just trying to gather all the information. But because it feels like one of these options could seal off other options, this is why I'm putting it in chat's sort of purview. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Trent also had a couple of other projects, but yes, over the last few days, a lot of it was gray shade oriented. $sign vote space 1 is who are you? $sign vote space 2 is what can you tell me of Mampang? $sign vote space 3 is why have you brought me here? $sign vote space 4 is what is your favorite color? $sign vote space 5 is what is your quest? No, I'm just kidding. I made that part up. But who are you is $sign vote space 1. Mampang, $sign vote space 2. Why have you brought me here? $sign vote space 3. Please get those votes in. While the cats are meowing. Okay. I want to check the Hang on a second. Sorry, bear with me. Okay. All right. And okay. Who are you? Oh, no, 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 no. I literally hit the wrong thing. Okay. Anyway, it's fine. What can you tell me of Mampang you demand? Sorry. Literally hit the wrong thing. The archmage whom you seek is holed away in his tower in fear of you. He can be reached only through the Throban doors. Doors named after me and of my own design. Okay. Who are you? Which is what actually was asked. My name is Throban. The beggar bows most politely. You notice he wears a circlet of finger bones on his head. Some have called me necromancer, but they only mean that death has never stopped my work. Wow. Cool. Okay, greetings. Or you are Throban, creator of the Throban doors. Or you are dead. Yeah, so $ vote space 1 is greetings. $ vote space 2 is you are Throban, creator of the Throban doors. And $ vote space 3 is you are dead. Greetings. Oh, necromancer, Throban. Oh, what I was actually doing was looking to see about the weather. Instead, I was just told that the Celtics blew a huge lead, which is not great. Okay, rain, yes. Rain, 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 rain. Showers tomorrow. Scattered showers on. So will Sunday be partly cloudy, then sunny again. Sleet on Tuesday. Definitely wind. It says lifestyle tips. Do not wash your car. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the lifestyle tip, weather. Can I get chocolate and vanilla for me and my girlfriend? Yes, exactly. You don't want to irritate a necromancer. Okay. Greetings. He bows again. Throban points at a nearby flower. Do you see this one? Purple thornweed. Only grows in one place, the slopes above my home village. All right, chat. Very simple. $ vote space 1 says, where is that? His home village, which might be some useful info, actually. $ vote space 2 is very nice. $ vote space 1 is, where is that? Where is your home village? $ vote space 2 is very nice. right, last call, last call. Last call. Oh, actually, turn that up a little bit so I could hear that. Okay, where is that? I grew up in the same village as the Archmage, you know. A small place named Kariyama. Maybe you've heard of it. He sweeps away, his face hidden from view. This way now. He steps between two plants and disappears. So we know the Archmage is from Kariyama. Good stuff. You found one new clue. Okay, the garden. You push your way between the plants and find the beggar waiting. Only now he is no beggar, but a tall, handsome man wearing a long cloak embroidered with runes of power. There you are, he booms. I was told to expect you. Okay. $vote space 1, we say, where is the old man? $vote space 2 means told by who? $vote space 1 is where is the old man? $vote space 2 is told by who? Where is the old man? Where is the old man? Oh, Chad is unsure about this. Told by who? Going once. Going twice. Okay. Told by who? A younger self, I think, he replies, though it's not always easy to tell. He frowns. Please excuse any confusion. I use these gardens for conversations quite extensively, but I have to space them out. One cannot have things overlapping. Now then, he smiles, I believe we will be, talking about Mampang and your impending death. Interesting. Our impending death. So do we say, I need to know about the Throbin doors? Do we say, I am not going to die? Or do we say, will you help me? There we go. So $vote space 1, I need to know about the Throbin doors. 2 is, I'm not going to die. 3 is, will you help me? Interesting, this whole thing. Interesting. Okay, we're going to last call this. Looks like we have a tie between Throbin doors and Help Me. They should have stuck with the vanilla ice cream. Yes, this whole thing has gotten very weird. I would agree. But, you know, helpful to know about the Kariyama part, the Throbin doors part. What do you think, chat? I need to know about the Throbin doors. I'm not going to die, or will you help me? I had ice cream earlier on today with my daughter. It was good. Okay, what say you, chat? We need someone to break this tie. Again, $vote space 1 to know about the Throbin doors. 2, I'm not going to die. 3, will you help me? Ice cream during blizzards. And yes, we will need to, if need be, change vote, $change vote. Space and the number is always useful as well. What's it going to be, chat? I need to know about the Throbin doors. I'm not going to die, or will you help me? Right now we're tied between 1 and 3, and we need someone to break this tie, please. Please and thank you. Okay, going once. Going twice. Okay. I need to know about the Throban doors. I'm afraid I know nothing about any doors, the man replies. I probably haven't built them yet. He points up. The dome is gone, and it is now nighttime. Stars shine overhead. I like these gardens for one reason above all. Can you see what it is? So, do we say the constellations? The view? Or do we say nothing? What do you think, chat? $ vote space 1, we say the constellations. $ vote space 2, the view. $ vote space 3, we say nothing. Chat again is like, there is a bit of a difference of opinion here among chat. Constellations. Okay. Gonna last call this. Triffid has also voted for the constellations, going once. Going twice. Okay. Constellations. Exactly. He sighs with evident pleasure. Look up there, he declares, pointing. This is one of only 2 places in Kare where the stars of the Zed spell can be seen. The other is by the north gate, but that spot's rather too busy. One of only 2 places in Kare. Zed is like the most powerful spell that exists, actually. It's a big deal in the 4th game book, actually. Okay. So, what do you know of that spell? Can you teach me of it? Or what is this to do with death? Question mark. What do you know of that spell? Can you teach me of it? Or what is this to do with death? Those are your choices. And yes, Zed is quite powerful. Cannot be denied. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. All right. Gonna last call this. These cats yowling in the background is not helping this whole thing either. We're just kind of like, man. So $ vote space 1 for what do you know of that spell. $ vote space 2 for can you teach me of it. And $ vote space 3 is what is this to do with death. Going once. Oh, we got a tie. Yeah, I know. I don't have a cat. So right now it is the yowling cats in the game. Not me. We may get a cat, actually, but we do not have one yet. So can you teach me of it, or what is this to do with death? Okay, we need someone to break this tie, chat. Please get that vote in. $ vote space 1 for know that spell. 2 for teach me of it. 3, what is this to do with death? need someone to break this tie. 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 Break it this tie. Break it this tie. Okay, I do need someone to break the tie, folks. $ change vote to the number you want to change to, or if we have a person who has not voted yet, then we can, yeah, I mean, if, you know, that's okay. We need someone to. $ vote space 1 for spell, 2 for teach me of it. What is this to do with death? All right. Going once. I think I already last called this. Going twice. Okay. What is this to do with death? What is this to do with death, you demand? Zed, he intones, is the great discovery of the necromancers, a spell powered by and fascinated by death. Some thought it prevented death, but it does not. Quite the opposite. The stars of Zed cause a death of the most significant final kind. Interesting. Okay. What is this? Tell me how it works. Oh, stop demanding things. Jeez. What is it for? Zed. Ugh. Good God, yo. What is it good for? Absolutely. Say it again. What kind of death? All right. Tell me how it works. That's $ vote space 1. What is it for? That's $ vote space 2. And what kind of death is that? $ vote space 3. And again, I would normally be doing this if it were just a matter of gathering information in the conversation. But this obviously is directing the reactions that this person's going to have. So that means chat has to weigh in on this. So $ vote space 1 for tell me how it works. $ vote space 2 for what is it for. $ vote space 3 for what kind of death is that. Let's find out. Also, programming note, chat, in case people are curious, I'm going to be going tonight until 12:30, so I will be going for another 40 minutes or so. And then I will wrap up at that point at 12:30. So yes, please get your votes in. $ vote space 1 for tell me how it works, 2 for what is it for, and 3 for what kind of death is that. Okay. So far we have 1 vote each for what is it for and what kind of death is that. So we need a few more people to get in here, chat. A few more people to get in your votes. So $ vote space 1 is what is it for. $ vote space 2 is what kind of death is that. Sorry. $ vote space 1 is tell me how it works. Sorry. $ vote space 2 is what is it for. And $ vote space 3 is what kind of death is that. Apologies. Kind of have a suspicion. Yeah. Okay, last call. Going once. Going twice. And what kind of death is that? The true death, the absence. But the secret is too powerful to share openly. Please. He gestures at another path, leading between trees as wide as bears that have fallen together to form an arch. After you. Okay. You slip under the arch and arrive in a field of bright yellow and purple flowers, terrifically overgrown. Brambles choke the edges of the path. The man does not follow. Okay, simple poll here, chat. $ vote space 1, call out. $ vote space 2, move on. So $ vote space 1 is call out. $ vote space 2 is move on. What do you think? $ vote space 1 to call out. $ vote space 2 to move on. To call out, presumably. Ah! Help! I need somebody. Help! All tied up between call out and move on. Call out. Okay, we're going to last call this. Going once. Going twice. Okay. We're going to call out. You call out but hear no response. It seems you are quite alone. High above, you see 2 harpies flying past, screaming to each other and pointing, but they are not coming for you. Okay. 2 choices, chat. $ vote space 1 is search the bushes. $ vote space 2 is move on. $ vote space 1, search the bushes. $ vote space 2, move on. So go ahead and get your votes in, chat. This whole place is obviously weird. This is strange. It's odd. It's unusual. Man, Winco Studios living up to its name today. This just happened the last hour or so. Super windy. Okay, $ vote space 1 to search the bushes, 2 to move on. 1 for bushes, 2 for move on. Okay. Search the bushes, okay. Going once. Going twice. Okay. We are searching the bushes. You search the bushes but find nothing. There is nothing hiding there, nothing waiting for you. The beggar has abandoned you. It seems you must find the path back to Mampang yourself. Okay, so the question is, chat, do we go onwards or turn back? So, $, do we go onwards? That's $ vote space 1. Or do we turn back? That's $ vote space 2 in this Gardens of Briar. $ vote space 1 is onwards. Keep going forward. $ vote space 2 is turn back. You want to search the bushes. Yeah, well, it could well be. So yeah, $ vote space 1 is onward. $ vote space 2 is turn back. Onward back, onward back, onward back. Ah, now people seem more clear about actually going onwards. Turn back, don't go at all. On we go, said Bilbo. Okay, we're going to last call this too. Okay, onwards we go. You push forwards through the towering flowers into an area of cracked blue paving and fronded shrubs and glass pots. To your relief, the beggar is here once more. He looks older than ever. Now you understand, he hisses. Now you see why you have to die. Obviously this guy... Are you threatening me? I mean, probably that's obvious that is not what he's doing. I think you have missed something. Or, I do not understand you. Which is certainly the case. Okay. $sign vote space 1 is, are you threatening me? $sign vote space 2 is, I think you have missed something. $sign vote space 3 is, I do not understand you. You think he's threatening us, Tom Tom? Is that what's going on? There's a threat happening? Okay. Just asking a question you might answer. Hey, just curious. Are you threatening me? Just want to know. All right. And I do not understand you. I'll tell you all you need to know, he says. The Zed spell is difficult to cast, you see, because you can't cast it at once. You have to cast it at 2 separate times. 2 times, but 1 casting. Got it? Like left and right hands clasped together. He demonstrates, linking thumbs and flapping his fingers like a butterfly. Okay. So, now and finish later. Go on. Small. Cause a large effect. Or say nothing. Okay. You begin now and finish later is $sign vote space 1. $sign vote space 2 is go on. $sign vote space 3 is a small change can cause a large effect. $sign vote space 4 is say nothing. What should we say to this guy, chat? What do you think, chat? $sign vote space 1, you begin now and finish later. $sign vote space 2, go on. $sign vote space 3, a small change can cause a large effect. $sign vote space 4, say nothing. What do you think, chat? What say you? Not an easy decision. But really interesting stuff. Okay, gonna last call this. Okay, going once. Going twice. Go on. So you cast it then and before. And when both castings are cast, they are the same casting. Two castings at different times cannot be at different times, so the time between disappears. He squashes his butterfly fingers into a single two-handed fist. So do we say the time collapses? Where does this time go? Or, so this is a spell for traveling in time. Okay. So do we say $sign vote space 1, the time collapses? $sign vote space 2, where does the time go? $sign vote space 3, so this is a spell for traveling in time. Your option is ... Yeah. That might well be what I would have been, was just like, okay. We're going to last call this. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Where does this time go? Ah, sweet child of mine. Okay. Where does this time go, you ask? Same place any of it goes, I expect. The beggar spits a tooth and picks it up to admire. Be valuable that one of these days, he remarks. And he's like handing you over the tooth. This is a little weird. Take the tooth or wave it away. That indicates to me that he is actually offering you the tooth. So, $sign vote space 1, take the tooth. $sign vote space 2, wave it away. $sign vote space 1, take the tooth. $sign vote space 2, wave it away. What would you like to do, Chad? Triffid says take the tooth. Okay, going once. As I last call it. Going twice. Okay. Take the tooth. You reach down for it. Uncouth villain, he curses, batting your hand away. Okay. Now we best be getting on. We don't want you coming back here when you finally die. Getting on. Coming back. When I die. Or simply nod. All right. What do we think, chat? Should we say $sign vote space 1, getting on? Question mark. $sign vote space 2, coming back? Question mark. $sign vote space 3, when I die? Question mark. $sign vote space 4, simply nod. I suppose that's the super I'm Batman cool factor, is not to / Mandalorian, you know, is not to say stuff. Yep. What say you, chat? 1 for getting on, 2 for coming back, 3 for when I die, 4 for simply nod. Got a vote for getting on and a vote for simply nod. Okay, we do need more votes here. $ vote space 1 getting on, 2 coming back, 3 when I die, 4 simply nod. What say you, chat? I do need other votes here to break this tie. I keep nodding. Still nodding. Yes. It's true. This seems like one of those ones that chat is like not that invested in terms of like, I would never break this tie. Yeah, that's the problem, Dragon. Or whether they're invested in they're invested in the whole game, but not so much this particular sequence. But I do need someone to do it. Going once. Someone needs to do it. Going twice. And all right, now we have one vote for each of 3. So we need one more vote to break the tie. Yeah, I mean, I knew that was coming from Dragon. That was pretty much automatic. This is about what we say to the guy. So the villain says, or not the villain, the Throbin, this necromancer, says, you best be getting on. We don't want you coming back here when you finally die. So our response could be either getting on, coming back when I die, or simply nodding. So getting on is 1, coming back is 2, when I die is 3, and simply nodding is 4. Once, going twice. All right, CQ saving us. Getting on. Mampang, of course. Throbin closes his dirt-smudged eyes and concentrates, and slowly the walls of Mampang return. There you are again, smiles the beggar, who is now back as he began. He lifts a crooked finger. Not a word. There are spies everywhere. One last thing to do. Draw your sword. So that's a big old Y. Draw the blade, or I will not. What do you think, chat? Y is $ vote space 1. Draw the blade is $ vote space 2. Or I will not is $ vote space 3. What say you? It's funny, chat. We've moved like, probably 50 feet from where we started at the beginning of the session, but we've done a ton between like the spire, the snake, the spire with the god. That we have no god, but we sort of do, and we have more stamina. With the going through the door, dealing with the beggar, and the various time travel stuff. It's been a lot. It's been a packed house. Once, twice. Okay. Draw the blade. You obediently draw your blade. Throbin beams with glee, and then before you can stop him, he runs himself deep onto the blade. For the ghosts of the backlands, I curse you with this, he whispers, and there is fury in his eyes. In the last moments, you see him hurl up his arms, creating some kind of incantation. A terrible force builds around his body, but then seems to only half explode. You were caught at the moment of detonation. The explosion dies away, its force curiously unspent as though waiting, but you feel stronger for it. We're up to 16 stamina? Is this what he meant by you must die? And then there was the whole Ghost of the Backlands. What? You look around, still disorientated. There is no sign of the beggar. The road runs past you, east to west. You would do well to find some place safe to rest. Okay, so we need to find some place to rest. Although I thought we rested already, but maybe not. Okay, that's very odd. I don't know what just happened there. I assume we're going to find out later on, but I don't know what exactly. We've already eaten, so we're good there. Okay, we can either go to the main road, which I suppose is dangerous if it puts us out here, or we could go north, or we could go into the fields. We do need to find a place to rest. So, do we go north? Do we go to the fields? Or do we go to the main road? Yeah. It makes me wonder if that isn't part of what's going on there. Something, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do we think? Do we say north? $sign vote space 1 is north. $sign vote space 2 is the fields, or $sign vote space 3 is the main road. Yeah, I agree with you, Runo. There's some kind of thing which is not like he's doing this to help somehow, but yeah. $sign vote space 1 is north, 2 is fields, 3 is the main road. So what say you, Chad? We do need to find a place to rest, but I don't know where. Right. Exactly. Something big is happening, but I don't know what. Normally, we would be at 16 out of 18 stamina, but we got that max stamina, so we're at 16 out of 22. So our max is higher. Okay, I have 1 vote for north. Anyone else? I have only 1 vote for north. Last call. Right, I've heard that. Ragnar. I did see that. The fact that if you don't use the beacons, there's a way to avoid this. But they expect you, though, to use the beacons. Like, it's very unlikely that people are going to play the game without using the beacons. So, like, they expect you to do that. But, yes, I had heard that. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for the follow and all that stuff. I'm actually only going to be on for another 10 minutes myself. But always a pleasure. Thank you. Everyone should follow Skiffy and Fanty. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I've got 10 minutes or so. I'm going to be heading to bed myself, so. It's been a long, long week. Yes, I am going to bed, about 10 minutes. So let's make these last ones stay beautiful. Exactly. Have a good night, Skiffy. So, let's make these last votes quick, Chad. If we can find some place and find a place to rest, that would actually be perfect, and it would sort of suit the narrative as well. So what do you think? 1 is north, 2 is the fields, 3 is the main road. Last call. Let's get some votes in here for the last couple of choices of the night. Like I say, I feel like we haven't moved very far, but we've done a lot, I feel like, in terms of impact. So eventually we're getting up there, but Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. Okay. North it is. Yeah, very much, Miranda. You continue along the road. The night is drawing on. You pass a side street leading off into a maze of smaller streets and alleys. Okay. North is 1. The side street is 2. We just came from south, so we're not going to do that. So actually, just a 2-part vote here. $sign vote space 1 is north. Yeah, I know, right? $sign vote space 1 is north. $sign vote space 2 is the side street. Let's get that vote in quick, chat. $sign vote space 1 is north. $sign vote space 2 is the side street. What would you like, chat? Let's get these votes in. I want to get to the actual spot where we're resting, and it goes to the next day, and that'll be a perfect stopping spot. But we need to do that first. All right, we have a vote for the side street. We have a tie. We have change vote. We have 2 people going north. 2 people going north. All right, I'm going to last call this just because I want to try to get to that spot before the end. Okay. Going once. $ vote space 1 for north. Vote 2 for the side street. Going once. Going twice. All right, north it is. The road leads away towards a ruined portion of the citadel. The stars turn in the sky overhead. Okay, well, I'm going to assume we're going to keep going this way, because that's the direction. The road ends in a tall wall of obsidian black bricks, tall enough to keep out a giant. But the wall is crumbled, brought down by the piercing gripweed vines that cover its length. You could scramble over the fallen stones and inside easily enough. The dead of night is still and cold. Okay, I'm going to look over the wall. Scramble up onto a block and peer over the wall. Beyond stretches an empty region of lapping water from which tall, isolated, gloomy towers rise. Strange noise reach you from across the wall. All right, chat. So I will throw this up as a vote. $ vote space 1. Climb over the wall into these towers. $ vote space 2. We go back to the city. Climb over the walls or back to the city. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Sorry, just trying to get over there. Climb over the wall or back to the city. You belong to the city. You belong to the night. Living in a river of darkness beyond the neon lights. All right, we're tied up. What do you think, chat? Climb over the wall or back to the city? Climbing over the wall continues to move us in the direction we were going. So climb us over the wall or back to the city. Well, last call this. Last call, last call. Okay. Need someone to break this tie. $ vote space 1 is to climb over the wall. 2 is to go back to the city. Rinda votes 1. Going once. Going twice. All right. Let's climb over the wall. You scramble up and over the broken wall onto a narrow strand of stone on the edge of a watery pool. Towers rise on all sides, connected by spidery paths. Sand is scattered over the edge of the pool. I'm definitely going to collect that. Sand is useful for spells. You scoop up a couple of handfuls of usable sand. The path between the towers awaits. The path. You leave the shade of the wall and follow the stepping stones out across the water. Everywhere the signs of ruin abound. Weeds crack the stones, turret roofs and buttresses have collapsed into heaps. Why has the Archmage allowed such ruin? What is this place? It looks like no part of Mampang you've yet encountered. The air itself is somehow different. The air itself feels tightened, as though the world is stretched thin here, a taut drum skin pulled over a too wide frame. It feels as though the tiniest step might unleash a powerful rupture. Wow. I want to go back after getting... Yeah, no, I know, Marinda. All right, chat. Not quite the final vote, but closing in. We have 5 minutes left. So, $ vote space 1 is walk softly. $ vote space 2 is look at the stars. 1 is walk softly, 2 is look at the stars. What say you? $ vote space 1, walk softly. $ vote space 2, look at the stars. Let's get your vote in, chat. Let's make your decision. You gotta make a decision. Live tonight or live and die in the mampang. Do. Do you want to look at the stars? Do you want to walk softly? You gotta make a decision. 'Cause I remember when we were climbing over the wall. Speed so fast I felt like I was flanker. And I had a feeling that I was the anteater. Hi. Okay. We are looking at the stars. You look up for the stars but can find nothing. The starlight seems to bend and divert before it can reach you as though being funneled away. What is happening in this place? The path splits here with the shortest way leading up an arched doorway in a nearby tower. You look over at the nearby tower. It is squat and ugly with a low, slightly squalid archway leading inside. Okay, chat. Question. Yeah, no, seriously. So, chat, do we sleep here? We do need to sleep. Do we sleep here or do we move on? $ vote space 1 is we sleep here. $ vote space 2 is move on. We do need to find a place to sleep. We're going to sleep in the place with the archway, with the arched doorway, with the tents thing. Yeah, sleepy time now. I know. If it works and works out, then it'll be perfect for the next day's setup. Yeah, well, that's what we're doing in 3 minutes. Okay, last call. Going once. Going twice. Okay. We're going to sleep here. Setting down your pack, you try to stretch out despite the wind. You do not need to eat more today, and we already ate once, chat, so to preserve rations, we're not going to do this here. We're going to close our eyes. You get comfortable and rest. Dream. You roll over trying to sleep, but you cannot seem to rest. After a while, you get to your feet and begin to walk through the darkness. Crumbling walls and broken towers move past on either side. You are walking past an old crumbling building when you hear voices. Stop to listen. You listen closer, leaning against the wall. It sounds like a distant crowd, too far even to be on the other side of the wall. Where are those walls coming from? All right, chat, last vote of the night. Last vote of the night. Do we knock on the wall? Do we call out? Do we look over the wall? Or do we move on? I wonder if we really are dreaming here. Knock on the wall, call out, look over the wall, or move on. Actually, yeah, I may look over the wall anyway. I should have thought about that, actually. I forgot that I could just look over the wall. So, actually, let me do that for free. Looking over the wall, you spot a missing brick. A green-gray mold has covered the gap. Okay, hold on. Don't vote anymore for a minute. I'll let Mrs. Dunsel vote again. A green-gray mold has covered the gap, coating the interior with fuzz. As you lean down to peer at the mold, you realize the voices are growing louder. Okay, yeah, this is why I realized I was going to look at the wall anyway, because I always do that. Do we look at the mold? Do we poke the mold? Or do we listen closely to the voices? This is like a very high-stakes version of Horton Hears a Who. Do we look at the mold, poke the mold, or listen closely to the mold? It sounds like these people are coming from the mold, or they are the mold, or something. I'm going to last call this. I'm going to move through this quickly because I want to get us to a spot, hopefully, where we can rest. Going once. Going twice. Okay. I'm going to listen closely. You listen closely and hear what sounds distinctly like the hubbub of a town heard from a distance. Conversations, the banging of tools, the playing of children. But it is louder the closer to the mold you are. Curious. But then something else catches your eye. Movement. Hundreds of tiny specks swarm across the surface of the brick, making circuits in all directions around the mold. What could they be? I'm going to follow the movement because this is about looking. You watch the hypnotic patterns in the mold moving this way and that. They seem to grow as you stare, becoming first veins, then branches, then finally streets and roads. This is us dreaming. The world around you is filling with gray, and the air turns to fuzz and smoke. Then you are sitting in a valley of soft gray grass. As always, I'm going to look around. Get to your feet and take in the scenery. Hills around you are a riot of greens and purples. Blotches of strange growths make dancing patterns, and everything is covered in fine fuzz. Overhead is the pitted underside of the next brick in the wall. It is rather like, all in all, you're just another brick in the wall. It is rather like being in a cavern open on one side. The place you came from is indistinct. Everything out there is so large now it's nearly impossible to discern. The hill you were sitting on obscures most of your vision. Perhaps you could get a better vision from the top, a better view from the top. Very simple, chat. Call out or climb the hill. Let's do this vote quick. I know I said the last one was going to be a quick vote, but I think this is ending a dream. So I think we're just about at the end of it. And as soon as we're done with this little section, I promise we will stop. So call out or climb the hill. $ vote space 1, call out. $ vote space 2, climb the hill. Railroading. No, I'm not railroading. I'm looking around because I always do that. As I mentioned before, Tom, in this game, I always look around because that's gathering information. So, thank you, Critchwitch. Still going. And not for much longer, though, Critchwitch. I'm heading to bed shortly. Thank you so much for the 36-month sub. 3 full years of support from Critchwitch. Thank you, Critchwitch. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. So, yes, that's all I'm doing, Tom. I'm not railroading. I'm just gathering information, and then chat's making the decision. The only railroading I'm doing is I do want to kind of get to a spot that seems like a good stopping point. Partly because we're not going to be... we're not playing this again for a few weeks, so I'd like to be able to get to a spot where we don't have to remember we were in the middle of something. That's why. I hope that makes sense. Oh, you're joking? Okay. Well, I kind of felt, I was like, I don't want to be pushing things one way or the other. What's up, Polar? Welcome, Polar. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Welcome. Okay. We are going to climb the hill. Climbing up on Salisbury Hill. Ba, ba, ba. You climb the hill for a better view. You now look down into another valley ringed by hills. Nestled at the foot is an extraordinary sight. See, this is cool because this is actually building up the world as we're doing it. And this game has done a lot of that. Our answers basically change what it is that we're seeing. So here we go. Since these two folks just got here, this will be our final vote, I think. Probably. So, do we, chat, looking down at this thing, is the thing that's amazing huts? That's $ vote space 1. Is the thing that is amazing creatures? $ vote space 2. Or is the thing that is amazing a rotting bone the size of a whale? That's $ vote space 3. So 1 for huts, 2 for creatures, 3 for bone the size of a whale. You're looking at a bone that's the size of a whale, and it's time to set sail. The Mampang is a little old place where the Archmage took your crown. Crown of Kings, baby. Crown of Kings, baby. I can't believe it obviously is getting late when I'm starting to sing Love Shack. I'm sure, someone at Inkle is seeing this and they're just like, what the It's like that meme with the blonde-haired guy from, I think, Kids in the Hall being like, what the... Okay, going once. Going twice. Yeah, so, Critchwitch, we're inside the fortress. We found the guy who built the doors that are protecting the Archmage, the Necromancer Throbin. He told us that about the spell Zed, which is the most powerful spell in the game, and he told us that we're going to have to die. And we were like, what does that mean? And then when he brought us back, he took us to this garden in Kare. When he took us back to Mampang, he had us draw our sword. Then he ran onto the sword. He said he was doing it for the people of the Backlands. And at first we were freaked out. But then it looked like they started to explode. But then the explosion stopped. And we got a bunch of extra health. And then he disappeared. So we think he's helping us. Ish. It's been a lot. It's been weird. This is partially inebriated. Aha. Yeah, there was a lot. that happened. Yes. So this one right now is we think we're having a dream, basically. It's inside the fortress, but we think this is a dream. Okay, rotting bone the size of a whale. A half-eaten meat bone has been pushed into a hole in the brick in a display of typical Mampang manners. Mold has grown all across it, climbing the sides and burrowing inside the rotted meat. Even from here, the stench of decay wafts upon the breeze. Cables of mold stretch up from the ground to the tip of the tilted drumstick, and in front of it there seems to be some kind of altar. Is it a temple? It seems you have been spotted. Creatures are clambering towards you, blobs of mold with black beady eyes and no mouths or limbs. Okay, again, I'm going to look at the creatures to gather info. The creatures are hard to make out from this distance, but you see them hurrying to and fro in their huts. From this distance, they appear to be shapeless blobs the same color as the mold. They seem like any other village inhabitants. They move along the ground by simply rolling. Bizarre. That would be interesting if that's true, Triffid. Wait, hide, charge, or run. This is also this is like got big time time machine vibes for me. There's some weird like time machine-y thing going on here. So yes, wait, hide, charge, or run. What do you think, chat? $ vote space 1 for wait, 2 for hide, 3 for charge, 4 for run. Get your vote in now. One wait, 2 hide, 3 charge, 4 run. Wait, hide, charge, or run. TomTom says charge. Also, Polar says charge. I feel like this is a what for moment, Polar, that you're suggesting. $ vote space 2. You're looking at 2? I think you're looking at 2 there, Crit, rather than 2M. We're all going to die gloriously. Crit, is that your voting $ vote 2? $ vote space 2? There you go. All right, tie. So we need someone to break the tie, chat. Hide or charge? Is it going to be hide or charge? Hide or charge? Hide or charge? Let's get the vote in quick. Last call. Hide or charge? Hide or charge? Let's get the vote in quick. Hit them with a smack. Well, yeah, we do need to actually make the choice, though. Hide or charge? Hide or charge? Hide or charge? We hide, then charge. Well, either way... All right, someone needs to break the tie or change vote. We can do it. Hide or charge. Vote space 2. $ vote space 2 is hide. 3 is charge. Or we wait like Marinda, which didn't help break the tie. What do you think? 1, wait, hide, or charge? Let's get those votes in, chat. You can do it. Change vote will also work. Let's move this forward. Let's move it along. Now we've got a 3-way tie. All right, somebody please break the tie. Please, 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 please break the tie. Wait, hide, or charge. Wait, hide, or charge. These are all good options, by the way, I think. Wait, hide, or charge. Wait, hide, or charge. What's it going to be? Wait, hide, or charge. You can do it. Like any other villager. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, actually. That's, wow, Rudnell. I hadn't even thought about that, I guess. Although I think this whole thing is so dreamlike, I'm not even sure. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. All right. Charge it is. Never break the chain. You race down the far side of the hill, readying your sword. The creatures scatter with surprising speed, emitting high-pitched yelps. They retreat to a safe distance and eye you warily. Okay, simple one, chat. $ vote space 1 is apologize. 2 is brandish my sword. Apologize is $ vote space 1. Brandish my sword is 2. $ vote space 1, apologize. $ vote space 2, brandish my sword. We are tied up. I'm going to last call this because I want to move this along. Going once. Going twice. It's too late to apologize. Okay, apologize. You profess an apology. The group, understanding your intent, edge closer. One rolls forward and begins to speak in a rough imitation of the common tongue. Its voice sounds like a bag of pebbles, so it is a bit hard to follow. Welcome. We are the Gillis, and this is our home. You have been summoned by Inkle's magic. Would you come down to the village? That, I think, chat, is actually a good place to stop. Will you come down to the village and hang out with the Gillis in a dream, I hope, in a tower, in the fortress of Mampang, after having been exploded but not really, after going to a garden in Kare, after having our god leave but getting stamina from it, after fighting a snake. It's been a weird session, but a really cool one. So we get to hang out with the fun guys. Really fun. I can't wait to see what actually happens with this, to be honest. Like, that was wild. Like, some of the stuff that happened in that was absolutely wild. That is not stuff that I expected, and none of that exists in the book. Yeah, we have a whole month to try to decide if we're going to go. We have new friends, maybe, in a dream. Very weird, but very cool. I really enjoyed this. And I enjoyed playing. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's completely not predictable. You're just walking along, and you're just like in this weird tower shape, and you're like, there's mold on the brick, and you're like, what? And then you're like, it's people, and you're like, it's people? It's dream? It's what? We're Ontario at the park, slowly losing our minds. Rude no. Yeah, but I think, leaving aside, obviously, of course, the personal situation you're talking about, I actually wonder if there isn't some kind of, in this particular space where time is stretched anyway, one of the things that this game has done is cause you to question things, and a lot of it having to do with time over the last two things. Now, time is a major theme in the Sorcery game book series anyway, but there's a whole big sense of that, I think, in books 3 and 4. And so, time, the sort of fluidity of time can kind of mess you up a little bit if you think about it, because time itself does not proceed at the same speed in our perceptions. Like, that's just true. First of all, it's different when you're older than when you're younger. Secondly, it's different in terms of of how you perceive it based on what you're doing, right? The classic time flies when you're having fun. That's true. So there's a basic time. The speed of time is 1 second per second, but your perception of it is different. And think about a dream. How many times have you, been asleep, your alarm clock wakes you up, you hit the snooze button, and for 10 minutes, you have this dream, this epic that feels like it goes on for 2 hours, and it lasts like 10 minutes until the alarm rings again. That's interesting, Arudinel. Look, what I love about this game too are the theories. That's an interesting one. I buy that. Triffid's theory that the guy that we met, Throbin, the necromancer, is us as an old man. Although you'd think he would look a little more like us when he was a younger man. But maybe it's not the same. I don't know. But yes, I think it's very interesting to see what happens. And the breaking of time, maybe that's why Zed counteracts that we can use that to counteract time. We'll see. Anyway, there's a lot to think about. I actually wish we could play more than one more session this month. We'll see. There might be a chance to fit one more in, but I got a lot of work to get done over the next month, so I don't know. Either way, we will definitely be back to this game in a few weeks, and then once the game is finished, we'll be moving on to Jedi Survivor will be next. So it's been good stuff. If you like what you saw and heard today, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube and sub to me over there. Discord is !ArvCord. Join us over there. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Please follow me over there. And the website is arvanellarun.com. Financially, !ArvTrayon. That's right there. Oh, yeah, Tom. Well, time, though, has been proven to feel different to us, though. They've done studies on that, which I think is interesting. Anyway, ! Arv Trayon is the Patreon sitting right there. That's really the financial backbone of the channel. That's what allows us to do a lot of the cool stuff that we do here. ! Arv Shop is the merchandise area. Triffid and I are working on that. And of course, the subbing to the channel, as many of you were kind enough to do, or gift subs today, that was really lovely as well, and that really helps out. So please consider doing that. You get those custom sub badges to use everywhere across Twitch, plus inspirations. Inspirations have not been reset yet. I will try to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it by tomorrow, but I'll definitely be able to do it by the end of the weekend as I get a lot of those things out of the way and kind of square this stuff around. So can't forget that as well. Wow. Yeah, Rudnell, fascinating. I think some version of that happens to all of us, but what you're talking is like sort of the intensity is increased because of what you've dealt with. So, wow. And then on the publishing side, Icarus for my graphic novel. Not yet Dragonspear. We're moving in that direction. Library for Tales and Tomes in the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And Greyshade will get you over to the place where you can buy Greyshade, my novel, which came out last year. Pre-order Renegade, which is the sequel coming out later this year. Pre-order Heretic, which is the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy coming out next year. And the tabletop role-playing game from Brandon O'Brien, which is coming out later this year. And the audiobook from Tren, which is coming out later this year, and also which is going to have some. The audiobook is pretty close, so definitely something that you will want to check out. Last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, throwing shades at Gray. Help Now, World Health Organization page at suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others. Oh my God, really, Ridnell? Reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war and send the message that we will do that in the future as well. No raid tonight, folks. It's late, and I want to make sure that we all get to bed. I want to thank you all for a fun time tonight and for hanging out with me. I'm going to be back tomorrow for Eberron, Oracle of War, as we continue with Season 3, Parliament of Gears, which is Part 1 of Season 3. That's going to be happening tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Then we're off on Sunday, and we'll be back on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, with Bag of Giving with Mutants and Masterminds. And then Tuesday, we'll be back here with the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook illustration stream of the month, playing Midnight Rogue with Tari Tunes doing the work. So that's going to be good stuff. No Shadow Raid, though. No. No raid happening right now. What do you mean? Is Shadowed streaming? Otherwise, no, because I don't want to. I really want us all to get to bed and all that kind of stuff, and do so at a reasonable hour. It's not the latest we've ever been, but still. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Arudnell, Dragonspear, Drew the Damager, the Rising Tides, Triffity Mats, the best mods in the business. Thank you as well to my wonderful subscribers and Patreon supporters, Arudnell, Dragonspear, oh, I hear you, Drew the Damager, Rising Tides, Triffid, Echo Alpha, R Polar, Crit Twitch, and Miss Stunsel, and Tom. Thank you so much to all of you lovely folks. And thank you to my viewers, Emelora, Axeman, Gamers and Streamers, Jagtress, Just Call Me Jury, Kayla, Licard, Lucent Crown, Marinda, Nonstop, T-Presence, and Y is offline, I think, is what that actually says. But thank you, everybody. Really enjoyed this tonight. Really enjoying this game, and I'm looking forward to more of it. But right now, I'm going to head on out. I will see you folks Saturday night for more of D&D with Infinity Beyond, Eberron, Oracle of War. More of this game to come later this month. Also, don't forget Klein. Make sure that you pick up those tickets because, again, you can get them online for $5 and offline for $5. If you can be there in person, I'd love to see you there. That's going to be at the Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport. That's going to be happening Thursday, May 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Definitely worth your while to check that out. And all to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation and the Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport as we launch the either 8th or 9th, I have to check, ARVCon 2023 to benefit Damon Runyon. That's it for me. Much love to all of you folks. I will see you folks back here for Saturday night for some D&D. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other and don't let the time go timey-wimey on you. I'll catch you folks soon. Be good to each other. Have a good night. Honk.